Marvel and DC, for the first time in over 20 years, are coming together once again for a crossover. And we all had our theories. We all speculated. We speculated right here on this podcast about what we would see their first collaboration be. All kinds of ideas were thrown out there. And what no one suggested, what absolutely nobody that I saw posited, was that the very first crossover between Marvel and DC in 20 years would be Batman and Deadpool.
They got my email, dude. Holy shit. It fucking worked.
You better start suing now if they read your pitch without paying you.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
And do
lawyer up.
the poor man's copyright.
It makes sense that Marco would suggest that he had this idea because it is a very AI idea. It is very like, which characters can we put together that would simply make the most money? No?
There
Got
it
it,
is.
This is the boardroom crossover.
Yes, absolutely. So we're gonna talk all about this. It's not as simple as just Batman Deadpool. There is more to it. We're going to explain everything that's going to be going on with this crossover, how it's going to lead into future crossover situations between the big two, and is this what we wanted? I mean, obviously nobody called this, but is this what we want? So we've got a lot to talk about. To have this conversation, we've got Cale,
What's up, crossover dogs?
Marco,
If there's more depth to it, then actually they didn't get my email.
Tyler,
I'm sure Marco's email had Swamp Thing in it. I guess.
Right, that's why that doesn't make any sense. It would definitely be
Yeah, Marco just
Swamp Thing, Man Thing.
Marco just read his first Batman book like last week.
Yeah.
Oh, 6 days. Careful, we're not even a week yet.
Got it. Okay.
And I'm Sean. Thanks for being here, whether you are live or in the future. Lots of familiar faces. Good to see you people in the chat that have already made it so early in the morning. I mean, not for all of you, I guess. Hendrik Perry, that's a name I haven't seen in a while, says, it's been a busy few months, but glad to catch the show. Good to see you, dude. Patrick Zay says, here for my first Pals live stream. Just found y'all a few weeks ago, and I've been hooked.
Whoa, what's
Hell
up,
yeah.
hot dog? Welcome.
Thank you. Glad you made it, man. And MP says, I'm surprised how much mainstream attention this crossover is getting. Hopefully, it creates new comic readers. That is a major point that we're going to discuss a little bit later on. Make sure you guys smash the like button if you enjoy what we do here, if you're
Smash
used
it.
to what we do. If you're not, you can wait a little bit. That's cool. If you want to wait and see if we're for you, subscribe to the channel, like the video when you've decided that we have thoroughly proved ourselves, which will happen, I'm sure of it. All right. So, 4 days ago, Entertainment Weekly broke the news that the result of the first, sit down at the table between the big two since 2003, which was JLA Avengers, which I haven't actually read. I should
like
probably read that.
Some of our listeners weren't born yet.
Marco wasn't.
It's true. Yeah.
And so this is the first time they're sitting down together. We remember Comics Pro earlier this year where Marie Javins and I think it CB Cebulski came on
MCB, yeah.
stage together and just blew all of our minds. Nobody saw that coming exactly. And so Entertainment Weekly was able to break the news that Deadpool and Batman would be the first collaboration between these two. And so what we know is that it's going to be Deadpool, Batman, Batman, Deadpool, right? So they're going to sort of switch off who the POV is and which publisher is pushing the book out. September 17th is when we are going to be getting the first part of this. We even know creative teams. So we've got Marvel is going to be pushing Zeb Wells with
Oh.
Greg Capullo.
Oh.
I
Yes.
am happy for Zeb for this, and I hope this means that Batman and Paul have an interaction. Just saying, it's a possibility now.
It's always closer. It's that much closer.
We're more likely to have Paul crossover with DC Comics in the year 2025 than probably like a Captain America or an Iron Man at this point.
That would be insane. But it's not impossible. I could see Paul somehow making an appearance.
He bumps into Selena
Sure.
Kyle. Oof.
Hey, yo.
And then on the DC side, in November, we're going to get Batman Deadpool, which is coming from Grant Morrison and Dan Mora.
What? The team of Klaus returns.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I went and listened back to 2 episodes of the show at like double speed, which is great listening to the show at like 2 times speed because I am in audible. Like I don't know what I'm saying, but Cale is like normal for me. It's like, oh, I can hear Cale at a good pace. It feels good. But I listened to the one where Grant announced a new book, and then I listened to the one where this announcement first happened, where like Marvel versus DC. I think I forget, one of us said flippantly like, "Oh, it's just going to be a character v character thing." That would be dumb, and that's the most we talked about that possibility. And I don't think any of us called this as Grant's story. We're all like, "Oh, maybe an ongoing, maybe 6 issues at minimum."
Yeah.
No, we're getting a one shot from Grant.
Grant?
Yeah, Marco, Grant Morrison.
I really thought you would be like, Mark Waid. You know, he's writing every other book. Surely this is on his docket. But Grant? Man. To write Deadpool? I don't know if I'm interested.
See, that has me interested. Actually, there's something I haven't seen before.
Hey, there's something.
Yeah, that's something. Um,
Stupid.
it's like I just it's maybe this is what got Grant back in the not back in the booth, but like to pick up the pen again. They were like, hey,
Ooh,
something different.
it's the one last thing they had to do.
Yeah. And I know it you can tell it's a Grant book because the cover is just full of angels and like biblically accurate angels. So
The back, yeah.
I have no idea what this book's gonna be about. Like the Capullo cover for Deadpool Batman gives away nothing. It's the most generic cover ever. I actually have an issue with it. It's boring. But this Mora cover at least gives us a little teaser about what the story could be, and it feels Granty.
So we've got creative teams, which I think we'll talk about the Marvel DC one first, because that's the first book coming out. Zeb Wells and Greg Capullo. It's weird that Greg Capullo is on the Marvel side, considering how long he's been a DC stalwart.
Mhm.
So that's pretty interesting. But Zeb Wells tapped to write this. It's very interesting. In the article, he talks about how, yeah, so I'll just read his quote. After writing Amazing Spider Man for 60 issues, I told Marvel I needed a break. Marvel told me I could do that, or I could write a comic starring Deadpool and Batman with the best Batman artist of our generation. I no longer needed a break. In Batman, we found someone who has even less time for Deadpool's antics than Wolverine, but a citywide threat from the Joker makes strange bedfellows, literally, if Deadpool had his way. It's been a blast letting Deadpool loose in Gotham City and watching what happens.
Oh,
For
this is.
Capullo's part, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is gonna be annoying as hell.
For Capullo's part, he said, am I dreaming? This crossover is likely to be the high point of my career, and I've had a great career. Some of my earliest work many years ago was on X Force, so Deadpool and I go way back. More recently, I spent 10 years plus drawing Batman at DC. The idea that I get to do a crossover event with Deadpool and Batman, if I am dreaming, please don't wake me. So we kind of teased it a little bit, but is this even close on the Marvel side to like, are you happy with this creative team? Obviously, no one thought about, or maybe not no one, but we didn't really throw Zeb Wells' name around. Are you guys pleased with this as the creative team?
This feels like the candy one. Um, Out of the two, this one feels like, oh, this you could throw this into the hands of any new fan, and they could have fun with it. Grant's going to do something weird, I guarantee, and I think this one's going to be a little more straightforward. And then like the rest of the creative team that's on this book too is intriguing to me more as like a comic book reader. But I'm good with Zeb on this. I think this is a job well done for Amazing Spider-Man. If they came over to him to do this, good for him. That means they have faith in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, sorry.
sorry. I feel like I'm in a similar spot where like Zeb on ASM, I felt was super functional. I just did a good job. Whether or not I enjoyed the book, and so I feel like this is a situation where he's a capable writer. He's a capable comic. Uh, he can establish scenes and characters, and so for my part, I feel like from like a technical standpoint, he's going to do a good job. It's going to be how he connects us to Deadpool, how he connects us to Batman. That will be the deciding factor. So, I mean, I'm not necessarily down on the idea of Zeb and Capullo feels the weirder choice here than a Zeb for me.
His whole run at Marvel has been weird, to be honest.
Yeah,
Uh,
like I get it, he's the Batman artist, but I don't know. I would have thought somebody who's like more, somebody who's had a more recent history with the with Marvel might have made more sense for it to feel like a crossover.
Well, he's the closest thing they have to an artist legend right now. I think you can make the argument for like Pepe Larraz or um
Pepe Le Raz.
anybody else. Yeah. But one, Greg's relationship with Batman, but also like his history with Marvel in general, like I think it makes him an obvious choice for this. And I think the only reason he's not doing it from the DC side is because Dan Mora has eclipsed him recently.
I think Greg Capullo makes perfect sense. Greg Capullo is the quintessential Batman artist of the last 20 years, and he draws a hell of a Deadpool. Deadpool, Wolverine, all those kind of characters are right up his alley. And he is a living legend. I think we don't see Greg Capullo like that because he's often in the trenches drawing monthly comics. But facts are facts. Greg Capullo on this is a big deal. Um, the way that Morrison is. Not obviously not on the same level, but like Zeb Wells is the guy whose work you can see pretty regularly. Same with Dan Mora. Capullo and Morrison are the ones who are like the legends that you might see a little less, whose names kind of have more cachet than the other two. So to me, Capullo being involved in this is again not who I would have suggested, but I love it. I think that's awesome. I'm glad he got this position.
And Leland Hage in the chat, says after the success of Deadpool Wolverine, Zeb makes perfect sense. Yeah, he did work for that. He wrote Marvel's biggest two character crossover. Didn't happen to be in the comics, but they probably have a lot of faith in him to do something like this. And it's weird. Like the rest of the creative team, which I'm sure Sean will get to, is like all people who have done stuff at both companies. Kelly Thompson, Chip.
We could talk about that in a minute, right?
Yeah. And but like Zeb is the only one who this is his first time working on a DC property. So that I think proves that there's some kind of faith in him for it. I'm excited for it. I'm more excited for Zeb than I am Capullo, honestly. Like the cover for this really was like, I hope this isn't the Capullo we get.
So, for Dan Buckley's part, he who is the president of Marvel, he said a lot of in order for this to be possible, he said, "quote A lot of things have to align. Mostly, we plan our editorial schedule pretty far out. DC does their schedule pretty far out. You want to have the right talent involved because with this type of thing, you want to elevate it as much as you can to get people excited. And I thought that that was an interesting comment because um, the creative teams, I don't think, like for the main story, I don't think are like mainstream exciting necessarily. Like Zeb Wells is a name that you'll know if you've been like actively reading Spider-Man in the last like 15 years or whatever. But I don't think his name rings out necessarily. Capullo, sure, but not like um no, yeah, Capullo, sure. But when you think about like the Titans, you think about Hickman. You know, like I could have even seen like a Donny Cates. This could be his return. Not that his name is like mainstream that way, but he's got a legion of fans. So, do you think that this creative team stands up to what Dan Buckley is suggesting here? That you want to elevate it as much as you can to get people excited.
No, I think in that respect it's Batman and Deadpool. The art's cool. The writing will be dependable. That's not to say it won't be good. I don't mean that in a pejorative or overly positive either way. But they know they have a shoe in with Zeb Wells. To me, they need it to sell, and this is a creative team that will make it sell. And then they've got a couple of historic names on there that will get the old heads in at the same time.
Or at the very least, maybe give it a bit more like credence, a bit more cachet. Oh, these are the guys that are attached, to
Right.
the stalwarts.
Because yeah, and just like Tyler said earlier, oh, Morrison's on there, they're gonna have something to say with Deadpool.
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny because like out of the two, the Deadpool Batman one feels a little less sauceless than the Morrison Mora one. Like sure, Morrison Mora is a team that we've had before in Glenn Close, but that is like that's them putting their best on a book. Like as much as I like Zeb Wells and I'm praising him here, um, the equivalent would be a Hickman. They don't seem equal in terms of the creatives they put on it. At the same time, though, this does feel like a great. It feels emblematic of the relationship between DC and Marvel right now, in terms of their creative teams in general. Like DC, we praise it constantly. That's the one we're like, all right, they have creatives cooking there. Marvel's like, oh yeah, Marvel just puts people on a book and they're fine.
This isn't what I wanted from Morrison. Um, I'm not mad at it, but I was really hoping that Morrison's return to DC would be something more substantial than this. But I guess if Morrison um, wasn't seeking a job, what reason would they have to come back? Like do more Batman? Wow, they did Batman for, a long time. So I guess it makes sense. And I agree with you, Tyler. Like Zeb Wells and Morrison aren't on the same tier as far as how we perceive them as creators. But I'm not sure that's how Marvel feels. I think if they felt like they needed Hickman for this, they would have gotten Hickman for this because clearly they're comfortable using him in that way. I think they trust Zeb Wells tremendously, and that is why he got tapped for this.
They trust him to fly the plane there. And I guess to that point, they don't need the like rock star notion of Hickman because it's going to be carried by the characters. They need a steady hand in Zeb Wells to that point.
Yeah.
It may be something steady and straightforward is the right move for this first foray back into crossing over between DC and Marvel. This could be the first hit.
It's worth. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Is like this is step your foot in, get a lot of exposure via this play. Oh, and Morrison's back at DC. Interesting.
For Dan Buckley's part, he comments on why Zeb Wells was chosen. So this is a quote from the Entertainment Weekly article. Whenever Buckley hears a Zeb Wells idea, it's usually something that's equally funny, clever, and heartfelt, the top brass says. That's how I feel about what he's putting together now. And I know Mr. Capullo will deliver in spades on the emotional storytelling and all the action because that's what he does every time in his story. So I guess from for Dan Buckley's part, he has a lot of belief in Zeb Wells, and that makes sense. That like Amazing Spider-Man is Marvel's top book for the duration that Zeb Wells was on it, and they need Spider-Man to be that. So in Dan Buckley's mind, Zeb Wells is a star because he got Spider-Man where they needed it to be for 2 or 3 years or whatever it was.
Isn't it wild? It's not Spider-Man, Batman then.
That's what I
No,
was
because they've
thinking.
done that. They've done it, and Deadpool is a newer commodity
Yeah,
that currently, right now, well, within the last year, had a movie that made $1 billion.
it's true.
Sure.
It's true.
Yeah. Just wait for Deadpool kills the DC universe coming out
No, no,
2026.
no, 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 please.
I saw
Put it out there.
Twitter compare these creative teams as a nuclear bomb versus coughing baby.
Which is which?
Morrison being the nuclear bomb, the Morrison
Oh,
Millar
okay.
one. Yeah.
I want to say thanks to Lectrix for becoming a channel member at the VI Pal tier. Really appreciate you, dude. And MP with the 9.99 says, hopefully this initial crossover stays focused on Batman and Deadpool. I don't care what the 20 plus redundant Bat kids have to say about Deadpool. I'm here for Bruce Wayne and Wade Wilson.
What I'm here for is Deadpool realizing what this book is, and Zeb playing with that.
Sure.
Like that's where like the character Deadpool and the fourth wall breaking could be fun in my eyes, because this is such a commercial endeavor, really.
On both parts, right? Like,
Yeah, both. Yeah,
for when Morrison writes too. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Morrison has broken the fourth wall without Deadpool plenty of times.
Right.
And you know what? I'm not sure, now that I think about it, I'm not sure who at Marvel has the sensibility that Zeb Wells does at the top level to write a Deadpool that's like funny and annoying, but in the right way, but then also be able to write Batman. Those are two different strengths, and I see Zeb Wells being able to do that pretty effectively.
I could see maybe Chip doing it as well, but you know, Chip's got a whole new cap run, so they're probably not.
They'll be saving him for
Yeah,
something else.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and this also, yeah, this like feels specific. You know, we talked about when I was re-listening to that episode, like, oh, Mark Waid makes the most sense to do a kind of crossover. He's been the king of both realms, but like, no, he doesn't make sense for a Deadpool Batman crossover. Like, he makes sense for an idealistic Marvel DC crossover, but something this specific
Yeah.
requires a
Yeah.
specific team.
For sure. Yep. And I think that's what helped me come around. Because look, when this was first announced, my reaction was, "Wow, what the fuck." This is not what I had in mind. This is not what I was looking for. I was hoping they would do something really substantial and meaty and sort of meaningful, or at least big. And this doesn't feel like that by any means. But I thought about it, and it's like, well, not all of the Marvel DC crossovers have been that. In fact, largely they haven't been what I was suggesting. And so why would I think that they would do something tremendously different than what they've done before? And this does present an opportunity to have the kind of dumb fun that this crossover probably should be. Because most people coming to this, like, this has huge mainstream potential. And you don't need it to be this big, like, epic in scope and scale, deeply meaningful story that's going to resonate with something about both companies. That's not what this needs to be in order for it to be a success. And so, okay, I'm happy.
Do you think that would be better? Which would be better for the publicity of comics at a larger scope? Like, is it the, oh, this is just some dumb fun and somebody picks it up or a reporter picks it up and it's like, oh, this is just what comics are, or is this a chance? And I'm not talking about whether or not this leads to success, but is this a chance for them to tell something meaningful, to be able to maybe change opinions about comics?
I don't think it's going to be that deep.
Well, which would be more beneficial for the sake of comics?
Probably popping a big number. Like, I know that sounds that's anti-art in a way, but like Entertainment Weekly coming out with this thing, it being a big thing, that they can like feed to news organizations, especially when it's out. Like if they can say, "Hey, look at this book that's selling so much." Maybe a local news can go to a local comic book shop. I don't know, but I think it's more that this isn't going to be creatively rejiggering the public's perception about what comics can be. No, this is the gateway drug. This is to get them, into a shop to check it out. Then maybe they accidentally pick up Alan Moore Swamp Thing. Um,
Sure.
I don't. This isn't going to be someone's Alan Moore Swamp Thing.
Got the shirt.
You do. You have the underoos on too.
This is a lot more likely to be someone's 1980 whatever Secret Wars.
Yeah, it feels like Marco, probably there's not, even if that was the attempt, I don't even think it would be received that way as like
Mm,
oh my god, this is what comics can be. I don't know if I don't know if there's anything a Marvel and DC crossover could do to make non-comics readers have that kind of reaction. For
mm.
that kind of reaction, you've got to read something that probably isn't even coming from Marvel and DC. Um, so so yeah, like let it be fun then. Let it be fun. One of the things we talked about was letting a lot of the creators who typically play in these sandboxes cook and not reaching outside of that to find creators. And so that part of that is why the Grant Morrison piece is a little funky, but there are other creators who are actually going to be able to be involved in this. It's not just the headline creators that we talked about. So for the Marvel and DC piece, or excuse me, the Deadpool and Batman piece, which is the Marvel production, um, we have the Zeb Wells and Greg Capullo piece. They're being joined by Kevin Smith, and this is coming from Bleeding Cool. This is a scoop. I don't know if
Oh.
anybody else is reporting this. Kevin Smith, Chip Zdarsky, Kelly Thompson, Adam Kubert, Terry Dodson, and Gurihiro. And Bleeding Cool suggests that there will be even more creators attached to it, and so does the cover for what it's worth. Um, that there will be even more creators attached that we will learn about in the future.
Do we have a page
Kelly
count?
Thompson on. Do we have a page
I
count?
Yeah.
I don't.
no, I don't.
And you're saying these would be subsequent issues, or these are in the same book that has like those backups?
They're like backups or additional
Okay,
stories in the core book. Yeah.
gotcha. Kurt Wildshit asked earlier, and I just want to confirm these are just one shots per each company. So the
Yes.
Batman, Deadpool, Batman are each independent ones. There's not a one or two.
Right. Yeah. Like there's not going to be these are issue 1, but there's not going to be an issue 2.
Right, right.
Um I mean, I like these other people being involved. I think Kelly Thompson being tapped for this is amazing. That's really really cool for
On
her.
the Marvel side.
Yeah.
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 Well, Kurt Wildshut also says Kelly and Gurihira means there's gonna be a Jeff story. I could see that.
Oh yeah.
Jeff and Crypto,
yeah.
maybe.
Jeff and Crypto. Oh
Yeah.
my
That
god.
those are huge characters in the year 2025.
Yeah.
So that could work. Do we know if the subsequent backups and the additional stories, those are just going to be crossovers, right? They're not saying it's also going to be Deadpool Batman.
this is leaked, so we don't even know. We don't know
Mm.
anything. We're not even supposed to know this.
Yeah, this
Not
was part
confirmed.
of
I
the
don't
Marvel
know.
previews book. Yeah. I mean, I hope it's more characters. I hope they get to play around with more characters in the sandbox because yeah, Jeff and Crypto or Jeff and Ace the Bat Hound, which actually
Oh, nice.
is the Batman Deadpool dynamic. Jeff is Deadpool was Deadpool's pet at one point. That could be fun. I do like how Kubert's on there. I do like how Terry Dodson's on there. Those feel like just like staples in both Marvel and DC. And same with Chip. I'm not a Kevin Smith guy. It is well documented. Is it going to be a Daredevil Green Arrow story? Maybe. But I'm good there. This could be fun. We know Chip's is going to be stupid. Chip posted I don't know if you saw on Chip's Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever, the script he had for his involvement in this, which is essentially a crossover between Kevin Feige and James Gunn.
Hell yeah. That's pretty good. Make that happen.
I think
I put
there's
out a question on having the listeners give us their own Marvel DC crossover. Sorry, Sean, I don't know if you were going to pivot. I was going to shout out some of them.
go for it.
The one that I thought was really interesting was a Reed and Mr. Terrific book as a Marvel DC crossover.
Oh,
That'd be cool. That'd be cool as shit.
No, I don't want to hear those two yap. Those guys can be in the background doing science shit.
Just fully silent, putting on headphones in.
that's the
Mothman.
problem. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't know how many like character crossovers as books I actually care about that much.
Hmm.
Like individual character, like this person and that person. I don't know how much I care about that in general. Because like a Reed and Mr. Terrific encounter sounds like a lot of fun, but as a book, I mean, Tyler's right.
Yeah. And it's cool to see them like if they walk into the same room kind of situation.
Which I think this is why if they're just like quick two to 4 pagers, it could be fun. It's like those Marvel 1000 when it came out, which is kind of what I expect. Do you think the length's gonna be that big? That was too thick.
I think that the Marvel 1000 thing is probably exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah, which
Hmm.
I'm kind of okay with that for now. Moon Knight versus
Mothman.
Eclipso monster design. Oof.
One other one I was going to call out that I thought might be interesting and maybe could carry itself. Constantine Doctor Doom. The mystical magical end.
Again, like seeing them
pop-ups.
interact, all right, sure. But a book, I don't know. It's
I
tough.
see.
It's because like
You can't get too deep
What?
into it. You know what I mean? Like in that
right.
span, even an issue. Well, I mean, Grant's gonna prove us wrong there, but
Well, Greg can get deep into, a puddle. So
it's true. Yeah.
So Kevin Smith being a part of this, I think, is I was a little annoyed, like, this motherfucker, man. Like, does he need to get to do everything nerdy and cool? Like, can you sit this one out?
Fucking thumb in every pie.
when was the
But-
last time he did something?
Podcast. He does this.
But his name will definitely ring out. I mean, he's the biggest star out of everybody involved in this, and there will be a lot of people who will see his name on the cover and say, "Whoa, Kevin Smith writing a comic book? That's crazy." So that's cool. I mean, a lot of mainstream attention is happening surrounding this book already. For Entertainment Weekly to be the ones to make the announcement. I've seen a lot of social media posts about it. I actually think this is a pretty big deal.
And there's probably going to be another Entertainment Weekly article once the variants come out. And they show all these other crossovers that are probably happening within the variants.
Yeah.
This makes money sense. This is the big match stuff. This is not the this is unfortunately your Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns 1, the first one. The first one.
Dude, this is your Goldberg Brock Lesnar.
Oh, this is a Saudi Arabia match.
No, I'm talking about the original one from WrestleMania 20 in
Oh,
2004,
okay.
where it's like they're these two juggernauts coming together, and you think it's going to be fire, and it's absolute dog water. Um, Eric Garza says Ultimate Absolute would be the most interesting thing they could do, but both are probably too important to each publisher to gimmick out.
I wouldn't expect those two to cross over because also this is meant for general audiences too. Like it has a dual purpose. They're not going to throw them into Inside Baseball for a 2-pager. It's not worth it.
Well, it's a hat on top of a hat, right?
Yeah.
Like
I-
you can't put a gimmick in your gimmick.
Oh, I've tried.
Well,
I can see maybe Chip making a joke in like a 1-pager that people like us would get regarding that.
Yeah.
But I think that's about as far as it goes.
Aunt May and Alfred, Spiral Storm. Wait a sec. Well, listen, we've established it is lore that Aunt May is packing. She got that thing, that wagon on her, and Alfred. Listen, he could be coming back from the dead. He got that itch.
His penny's worth it. So
In for a penny, in for a pound. You know what I mean? I could see it.
Yeah, yo.
a penny worth, as it were.
Yeah.
So there is the other side. There's the DC side. Mora and Morrison. Uh, for Morrison's part, this is what they had to say. Quote, I don't do many comics these days, but there was no way I could turn down the chance to work with Dan Mora again. One of my all-time favorite artistic collaborators. And definitely no way I could turn down Batman and Deadpool. Expect fourth wall busting mayhem, owls, blood, blades, and at least one giant typewriter.
Huh?
Ah, don't need this. No, thank you. This is not the Grant I want.
Typewriter didn't sell it for you?
Y'all have fun.
let Grant have some fun. They've
Grant can
earned
do
it.
Grant
They've
can do
earned
whatever
it.
they want.
Count me out.
This is, like he said, this is not for us. This is for general audiences.
I don't know if a giant typewriter is for general audiences, really. That feels like Grant proper.
Yeah, the mood is, though.
Sure. It's going to have a sheen of.
Wink and nudge.
I think Grant is an interesting choice because Grant has mainstream blockbuster sensibilities when they want to. With their Batman run, I think they proved that pretty well. Like it is a big blockbuster story, but it's got those Grant-isms and those Grant sensibilities that take it over the top. I don't know how much space Grant is going to have to do that, but I can definitely see a world where Grant can do something funny, heartfelt, and off the beaten path that maybe wouldn't satisfy what Cale is looking for, and not really what I'm looking for either from Grant, but can be good. Like good enough to be like, all right, that wasn't a waste of time.
Sure. But, like we say, that's not what I'm looking for anymore.
You think Grant shows up in the book?
I
There's not going to be room for that.
that's
in,
as
in a Deadpool book.
I think that's why.
Going to be too full of word balloons.
I mean, when Batman and Deadpool are in a comic, you don't need Grant Morrison to literally be in the comic.
I just don't know if Grant would be able to help themselves when you have a character that can clear that is designed to do it.
Come on, they will.
We'll see. We will see. So this one is in November. The Marvel one, the Batman, or excuse me, the Deadpool Batman, that's in September. So we don't have a ton of time to wait between them, which I like, especially because, as far as we know, they're just telling the same sort of story from a different angle, um, which is not unbelievably compelling, but I'm glad that there's not like a long time in between.
Like we know for a fact the Deadpool Batman, the Marvel one, is set in Gotham. Capullo says it, right?
Yes.
So Deadpool is going to Gotham. The inverse doesn't work. Like, what is Batman go to New York City? Like, okay, he could do that in his own book. So is it also going to be set in Gotham? Is it going to be a little more wackier, more DC universe spanning? I don't know. I am super excited though for the Batman Deadpool of it all. Like for the more like regardless of Morrison, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say, but like the fact that this is Dan Mora doing something this big is exciting alone.
Sure. Sure. Um, Dan Buckley, he had a little bit more to say. He said it just felt like a fun combo in reference to the characters chosen. I'll be quite frank, it was nothing more complicated than that. Like Deadpool hanging out with Batman. There's a lot of levity to be had in there, a lot of fun. And it would also be a little bit uber violent at the same time. Our big thing is we want to do something that is a lot of fun, showcase comics, generate excitement, and bring new readers or lapsed readers back into the industry. Now, I want us to chew on that for a little bit because Dan Buckley has talked about this last year, how he felt like Marvel needed to be fun again and they needed to bring the fun back into the comics. And I think it was Jim Lee, but I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to attribute the quote to anybody in particular. But someone over at DC said a similar thing. So this definitely feels like it lines up with that sensibility of bringing fun into the books. Um, and I can definitely see a scenario where these two companies are sitting together and they say, well, what are we going to do? And it's like, well, all right, we've got Batman. It's got to be Batman. And then who from the Marvel side? Deadpool. Deadpool is the definition of fun. When people think about fun Marvel characters, certainly they think about Deadpool. So that makes sense. And bringing new readers and lapsed readers back into the industry, 100% yes. Absolutely.
It just has such like market appeal, like mass appeal. Yeah, yeah. Shotgun approach.
The graphic design nerd in me though hates the fact that it's just logos on top of logos. And it's the new Batman logo, which is on the cover.
Easy. Slapped it on.
How do they even? We don't even know how they're going to even collect this, if they will.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah, if they will.
you're jumping a little bit, you know.
A little bit. That's what I'm thinking too.
I think that Marvel and DC are responsible for bringing people into the fold in comics. No one else can do it. Energon universes are cool. Fucking Nacelle verse with the biker mice from Mars. That's all cool.
Is that
But
what
to
that's
bring,
called?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They just relaunched the Biker Mice from Mars book too, under the Nacelle verse banner or whatever, because that they're going full hog into that, and it's like, please, you had one good thing. Relax.
Yeah, I don't think kids are picking that up. I don't think kids know what bikers are. You know, like let alone.
Goofy. But I will be buying it. But I think Marvel and DC have that responsibility. They can fix the problems that the industry is having from the standpoint of getting attention by doing something like this. And so I'm glad that they finally sat down at the table to get this done. All it took was for Dan Didio to go take a walk. That's all it took.
You know what? That does line up.
They said they've been working on this for years.
Yeah.
So it's like if they were working on this for 3 years, then that's almost exactly the same amount of time that Didio's been gone.
Yep.
I mean, if you're Javens, you want to make a big splash, right? And
Sure.
when you take over that kind of role, and plus Marvel had a new guy, newish guy in the role too with CB. Like actually, CB's been there for a little bit. But
Yeah, he's been there since like 16, 17.
yeah,
So
geez, time's
I
a
think your
flat circle.
point stands.
Yeah.
I think your point stands.
You got
But
two
he's,
new people that
he-
want to make a splash, really. Yeah.
Yep.
CB's the one that said, they were gonna make a million copy issue.
Well,
I don't know
So
if
he
this is it
needs
yet.
that.
I think you still got to do that Marvel Star Wars one to do that.
I would imagine that every editor in chief would want to sort of have something like this under their belt. And so I think it makes a lot of sense that they would want to come to the table. And also, like, maybe in the last 20 years, our perception has changed, but most people know that Marvel and DC don't have actual animosity. They're just two companies that publish comics and they're competitive. There's no hate behind the scenes.
This to bring in one of my other niche interests. I'm really interested in the Orlando theme park sphere, Disney World and Universal Studios. People are always putting those two against each other, but no, because if one of them opens a new park, that drives people there. It brings people to the area, and then that's only good things for everyone involved. Same thing goes for DC and Marvel. If it's driving people to comic shops, a person A might recognize Batman, pick up Batman right away. Person B might recognize a Spider-Man book and want to pick that up too. It's only a good thing to drive people to the place where those things that they can buy can be seen, and those tethers to then a character and to the medium can start.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I think at
Hendrik
most,
Perry, go ahead.
I was gonna say at most there might be like a fun little competition between two to see which one sells more.
But they are profit sharing from what I
Sure.
read in
Okay.
this article. And so,
oh,
yeah, and that they said that's why this kind of thing can be so hard to pull together.
hmm.
Which makes a lot of sense, It makes a ton of sense.
They are businesses. It's not the people in the companies that have animosity. It's the companies themselves that have the animosity. The
The
competing
lawyers.
businesses. The
Jim Lee
lawyers,
had
yeah, great point.
Jim Lee had this to say, and it ties into what we're talking about. He said, "It happens kind of once every generation of readers. I'll leave you to draw your own conclusions as to why. The timing has to be right, and that you don't want to do these things too often. You want them to feel special. It is sort of finding that right moment for both companies to come together because it is complex. There's a lot more coordination, collaboration, approvals that have to be done, and obviously from the business side, you're sharing revenue. But it's going to be a big deal. So you want the story creatively to warrant the hype of it all. The story's not going to warrant the hype of it all. But it is a gargantuan effort that I'm sure only increased since the last collaboration because now Disney's involved on the Marvel side of things, whereas they weren't before. So there is that additional layer of complexity. But that being said, I believe both companies have all the reason in the world to want to do this. Um, is this the $1 million idea?
No.
No, this isn't it. This is the
$1 million maybe.
600.
That's
This is
yeah.
600K.
Yeah.
Tyler, you read my mind. $1 million or million issue?
Issue.
Units. No, units? No, this is like
No way.
600K between both of them.
This thing about to be $20.
Yeah, we didn't even talked about price point on this. Jeez.
Yeah,
Oh,
no way.
I mean, it's exceedingly easy to make $1 million off a comic from Marvel and DC, right? Like they did that with Absolute Batman, and
Magic might have already, like at this point.
because if the book's $5, which it's gonna be at least five. It'll probably be seven, right?
That's a rock bottom minimum. Like,
Yeah, but like Absolute Batman was $4.99 and it sold 400,000 copies. So they cleared the million in that, which is a lot more of a regular thing than this. I could see this selling upwards of I I want to say between 6 and 700,000.
See, I was gonna say 8. Yeah.
I could even see 8, yeah. A million sounds like too much.
Too much. Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
All right, don't
No thanks.
stop talking numbers. Kefis in the chat starting to smell bet. here.
Smelled blood in the water.
we might need to have an intervention for this guy soon. Jeez.
That
Uh-oh.
interesting.
What's the bet, Kefis? What are your terms? What do
Okay,
you
intervention
think?
for Sean too.
I want to hear what's the gimmick?
Have a seat, Sean. Have
What
a
are you
seat.
doing?
Oh, wrong show. Wrong show.
MP, could Disney Marvel take this a step further down the road and do a Star Wars DC crossover? I don't think so.
That's a
don't.
stretch. This is enough of a stretch.
What is Warner's Star Wars property? Bugs Bunny, Darth Vader crossover? Like what? Oh, wait, hold on.
Well, hold on.
Sounds fun.
Actually, yeah,
Hold on.
I do like that.
Bring it back. I take it back. Let's make that happen.
I want to see a stormtrooper get duck seasoned.
I think it's hard enough to get Star Wars proper comics, just Star Wars comics, like forgetting any crossover. Just because of all the approvals and all the people who have to say like that's okay, that's not okay. But then doing that intercompany would just be a disaster. Because then Disney's getting a lot more involved with that than they are with this. So and you don't want that. Harry Potter, Star Wars would be the that would be the thing. But I mean, you're getting into like that's a
crazy.
weird area. Yeah.
That's wild.
Just want to see Neville Longbottom get force choked.
See, I could stand to see that.
Pervert.
It's... You're just there. Harder.
Oh God.
It's surprising that there's not enough of that in Star Wars, right? Well, there's not enough sex in Star Wars at all. Let's be real; it's a sexless property.
Wow.
Dune
I agree
in
with
Star
that.
Wars. Dune in Star Wars. You got something there, Jonathan Show.
Oh.
Talk about sexless. Dry and sexless.
There's more tension in Dune for that. I like how none of these are comic book properties. Like, so let's throw these guys into a comic book. Yeah.
So the other big deal that came out of this Entertainment Weekly article that doesn't really get elaborated on too much, which makes sense because they're dealing with what's in front of us right now. But they say that there will be more than Batman and Deadpool as far as the crossovers are concerned in the future. So, quote, another set of one shots will arrive somewhere in 2026, though both sides remain quiet in terms of which characters will team up next and which creators will be involved to create those adventures. Quote from Jim Lee, anyone that's working in comics today grew up with a Marvel DC crossover at some moment in their reading timeline history. I think once you become a creator, you want to work on the biggest characters for both companies. But then to be able to do something that only happens every 15 or 20 years, it is something you don't want to pass up. So I think fans are going to see a lot of interesting projects from their favorite creators. That's all I can say.
There's one, if they're doing another one of these crossover, like character crossover things, there's one that just makes clear sense, and that's Superman Fantastic Four. Like, there's a Mark Waid book, and there's one for two characters that are big outside of the comics in the same month. So I can see that, like John Kent talking to Valeria and Franklin. Could be fun. Just that it's big families now at the same time.
I think that the fact that they're going to do more than just this one book is a great sign to me. More people will get to play in the sandbox. It's also why I was less bothered because you just see someone on Twitter post the image and you're like, what? But when I read the article and I saw that there was more to come next year, it's like, okay, cool. So then this isn't the only collaboration they're hanging their hat on, and maybe we will get some more interesting characters in the mix or different creative names. There's lots of possibilities.
I wonder if this leads to more of a not just one shot situation. Like, what if there's a mini? What if they, this does well enough where they're like, okay, we can maybe justify getting somebody on a 4-issue book. I don't think it needs to be a Secret Crisis, but maybe down the line. Who knows?
Mm, damn, that's one of those like, I kind of want to see how this thing plays out to see if I even want that.
I mean, it could be like a yearly pop, you know?
That's too often.
I agree. But since when do big companies know when to stop?
I don't know, man. From the way Jim Lee was talking, it definitely feels as though they recognize that this doesn't work if you do it all the time. So I
Yeah.
expect that they're going to do these two things, take a step way back, focus internally, and I could see 5 years from now them coming back to the idea and doing a little bit more. I don't think we'll have to wait 20 years for another one. I'll say that. I don't think it's going to be that infrequent, but every year I think it becomes too normal.
Yeah, 100%.
I got to be honest. I am excited. I come down on this as I am excited. I can't wait for this. If we had gone live the day this was announced, I'd probably have a different opinion, or I'd be talking about it a little bit differently. But with a few days to ruminate and think and kind of imagine the funny interactions and everything like that, I gotta say, I am very much looking forward to this. And I do want more. I want more. I was hoping we would see a much bigger announcement of a collaboration. But for what we're getting, yeah, I'm in.
I'm down for that. Yeah.
Punisher Red Hood. Oh no.
Don't even talk about Red Hood. I was sick, so I didn't get to talk about Hush 2. But what the
Oh,
fuck,
dude,
guys? I didn't
that
even- I
was
didn't I
wild.
didn't listen to your reviews yet, but the title change I saw to the episode was like, okay, I get an idea what's going on. I get an idea of what that episode probably was like. Oh, yes, get Red Hood away from me right now. Get Bane away from me right now. I think that made me more sick.
You read your
Yeah,
stack, like you read.
I read them all.
What
Yeah.
was your pick of the week?
Wonder Woman was my pick of the week. Absolutely.
Oh,
It's interesting.
It was
Okay.
not Robin teaming up with the guy who killed his father figure.
Well, grandfather figure.
Fucking hell, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. Cosmic November says, I hope with Marvel crossover with DC, then it will mean Marvel is willing to do crossovers with other companies. My dream would be a Daredevil and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover.
I feel like has that happened? No, not officially. No, I think that there's been fan comics of that because I think the goo that turned the turtles into what they are is from the same truck that gave
Yeah.
Daredevil his powers,
yeah.
and the entirety of the original TMNT is just Millar Daredevil.
Ninjas.
It could be fun. It could be fun.
They basically exist in the same world at that point.
There's people talking about Liefeld in the chat. You know he's trying to get on this book, and as soon as he doesn't get a variant or any kind of work on it, we're gonna hear about it.
Yeah, it's crazy that they would take the thing I created and not invite me, its creator, the guy who created the thing.
I don't think there's a world where he gets to be involved in this. The way he's been going off about Marvel over the last
Not a
year,
chance. Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah,
Oh,
he screwed
spoken
himself.
poorly about them.
Oh, constantly. He's
That was
just yeah. He's like I saw yesterday. He's like Thunderbolts was a flop. Like buddy. I mean, we'll talk about grifters later, but it's in grifter territory clearly right now.
Unreal. Unfucking real. Rob Liefeld, what a guy. CW Gordon says, "Is it strange they didn't wait for one of the Comic Cons for this announcement?" So, no, it's not strange to me. Um, I think that they probably want to just control the moment. There are lots of announcements that get made during Comic Con. Nothing else was announced this week. This was a very light news week because they own the moment.
Yeah, you don't
Well,
want that
sort of.
overshadowing.
And you also
There was a big announcement, but you know,
Oh, yeah. That is true.
there, but like there's also like you have to deal with final order cutoff dates. So like it wouldn't work if the book's coming out in September. And what, San Diego's July?
Yeah,
yeah, that's a
absolutely.
great point. Yeah.
They could maybe announce the rest of those creative teams that don't need to be part of a solicit. As like at one of their panels, yeah.
They just have to announce the first book.
Yep.
And then get your pre-orders in, and then they'll announce everybody else.
Yeah, and it's not like they can announce the Marvel one for September and then hold back on the one for DC. Like they need to announce both, even though it's coming out in November.
Hey, we've got a birthday in the chat. Steve Matthews says, "Good afternoon, pals. I get to watch the pals on my birthday. Happy
Wow.
birthday, Steve Matthews. I'm so thankful that you would choose to spend your birthday watching us and hang out with us. Let's give a Comics Pals birthday message to Steve Matthews. I'm so used to saying that name. Happy birthday, Steve.
Gemini's up.
Hell yeah.
Gemini's up.
Yep. Ooh, and Hayden's Hideout, who is at which convention is Hayden at? It's he's actively
Dallas
at Dallas Expo. Yeah.
Dallas, yeah. Fan
He
Expo.
said, just met Peter J. Tomasi. He said, "Screw your guys for not keeping Hornsby and Halo on the weekly review show."
Damn,
I'm spreading the
bro.
Comics Pals gospel.
Bro.
Wait, no, he did not.
That's crazy. Take a video.
Hold
Take
on
a
a
video.
second. Hold
Cameo
on a
that.
second. Is that a fact? Did he say that? He did not say that.
That would explain why Ghost Machine's gone a little quiet.
They've gone ghost.
Yeah.
They ghosted us.
The thing with like
Stop it,
Tomasi though
Hayden.
is like that could be something he'd say.
Yeah.
He's a jokester,
Yeah.
but he could also mean it. Fuck.
the
Well, now I don't want to say anything bad about Hornsby and Halo.
I'm just not reading it.
But
It's
I
not for me.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. Uh-oh.
He says yes, that is true. Fuck. That's not a good thing.
Nope.
Wait, what?
No, we'll
Does
talk
that
about New York
mean he
Comic
was
Con.
like listening to us? And
We know they
noticed?
listen.
Like, how would he know that?
Bro, you know we have creators that listen. Gavin's in the
Oh.
chat right now.
Oh man, that sucks. I
We've
like
had-
Peter tomorrow.
We've had Gale shout us out outside
Oh.
of our influence too. Like,
That's true. Yeah.
Sean, this is the nature of it. You should recognize this.
uh-oh.
It's not like anyone's shat on
Dude,
the
I've
book.
been
It's just
confronted by it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh,
not go
yeah.
there. Remember, Marco? Remember that fucking time, dude?
Yeah, bro. I still got the image. Still got the picture.
Confronted
Painting.
in person.
Of course, hung
I
in Providence.
remember the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hayden
Yeah,
says,
we talk
he
about
was tr-
Rockefellers on Pals Previews. Tomasi's got to check out Pals Previews.
Hayden says he was trying to sell me on the book, and I talked about how y'all reviewed it.
And then he said that we took. Oh my god,
That's
dude,
crazy.
I want
That
to
means-
sink into the ground.
Actively listened to it. Interesting. My book came out this week. Not even on the poll? Huh.
Yeah, he's a pole warrior. Yeah,
Yeah. Imagine.
the
Nobody
guy I
shouted
was
it out on
the guy
previews. He
who's
probably knows about previews.
the guy
Yeah.
whose DC books I was reading throughout the entirety of my high school and college.
Oh,
On Pal's Previews, his book pops up. We call out the book to the left and to the right.
Hey.
Wow. All right. I'll try to move on from my devastation.
That's
And you know what helps? Go ahead.
It's not a big deal. It just happens. He should know what books are out there right now. We only got a certain amount of time.
Devastation.
I would get it.
the honest truth, Tyler, is that I
Oh.
actually don't give a fuck.
Hey, Hayden,
But-
make sure to go tell him that.
No, okay, no, don't.
Get back in line.
No. Wait, Mr. DC is Peter J. Tomasi confirmed. Oh no.
No. Oh man, wow. But you know
Nope.
what helps to soften the blow is the fact that there are over 100 of you hanging out with us right now. Thank you guys so much for being here. Really appreciate you. It's a big day. Marvel and DC's crossover. We're talking about that. You guys showed up. I really, really appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button. We've been live for an hour with no signs of stopping. So hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the conversation so far. There is another aspect to this conversation, which is what Mark Millar was teasing all along. Remember, he said that he had something big coming and he tethered it to this announcement. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about our hopes for the next set of crossover books from Marvel in 2026. But before we get into that, do not move a muscle because we've got to shout out the people who make this all possible. And that's a lot of you. That's a lot of you. That's the patrons who support this channel dutifully every single week. So, special shout out to our Pals vs. Legends, Thunderstruck, Rebecca Alejandro, the Hound of Justice, Atomic Hound, Starcross Catherine Stars, the Red Spiral, Spiral Storm, Adam and Bernie, the Best Boy, the Spear of Judgment, Jay's Jumble, Jalen, the Sanguine Sorcerer, and I must also shout out, I have to shout out Entertain Me, who is a Pals vs. Legend as well. Thank you so much. And I want to thank Pals vs. members, the Night Stalker Harris Dajinski, Brian Demolished Pozo, Kefis the Incorruptible, Momentum Mike Elliott, Dan the Truth Trudeau, Marley Manistorm, Slow Flow Dameron, Christian Uncaged, Always Laughing, The Spirit of Justice, Izzy's Issues, The Great Destroyer, Hyper Viper 89, Robert Runback, Cashaback, Pete the Dreamweaver Collins, James Just Jamming Jones, Paul Powerhouse Smith, Andrew the Galaxian Smith, Neon Knight the Cosmic Avenger, Matthew the Shade Cosmo, BJ Kicks, and the Living Blade, Boss Rundeer. Thank you all so much. If you did not hear your name, stick around. You will hear it a little bit later on. Really appreciate everybody for the support. Now, Mark Millar recently teased that he was going to be involved in the Marvel and DC crossover. We talked about that last week. We sniffed out the bullshit because there wasn't no way Mark Millar was going to be involved in this. But he did effectively tether himself to that conversation enough that people were wondering what he was actually going to talk about. And on the very same day that Marvel and DC crossover was announced, we learned of Mark Millar's newest book, where he is teaming with John Romita Jr. for the first time since Kick-Ass, I think, for Psychic Sam on Kickstarter.
Oh, nice.
Couple indie creators getting their come up.
Yep.
My have the how the star has fallen.
$25 for the book. It's not a Netflix thing. It's fully creator owned. So
Okay.
that's nice. Side Hustle Comics is helping them. They're the ones that are, I guess, helping publish this. They claim it's volume 1 of 3.
Have they done anything else? Do they have history, or is Side Hustle a new thing for this?
I do not know.
It's someone's side hustle, so I guess we don't know. Yeah.
So what you're getting for your money, if you do choose to pledge, is the graphic novel. It's 64 pages. So 64 pages, $25. That isn't math, I don't think. No, it doesn't.
That's
60
three issues roughly.
Yeah.
That's
$25. That's
$7 issue each, roughly.
More. It's like a little less than
Yeah.
8,
yeah.
I think. That's brutal. But I guess like these two creators do warrant that. If I were in a store and I saw that they were, well, no, No. Fuck
I don't know.
that.
I don't know if they
No,
do. Not in this
no.
year of our Lord 2025.
Yeah,
Yeah, how many pages was it?
64 pages.
Yeah.
Side Hustle Comics, just to clarify, is a Miller thing now. Its
Mm.
Kickstarter page, its description is Mark Miller's Miller World books are coming out from Netflix and Dark Horse Comics, but this is something different. This is a cool little side project where he and the artist co-create something together, and they're building a little library. It's about
His lawyers are working
Yeah.
hard.
that
Yeah.
bio is about written as well as a Mark Miller comic in 2025.
Most of the time, I don't care if big creators are doing Kickstarters because, that's their prerogative. But when you're Mark Miller, who has made one hell of a bag from Netflix, and you have all the relationships that you have, with Dark Horse, and basically take your pick of publisher. I'm a little perplexed by this.
I mean, Miller is perpetually online. Let's be real. And Miller, I think, has seen that the grift side of comics makes money. And he's getting his fill now. He was on, was it Nerdrotic's channel?
Oh, really?
Yeah. To promote this. And he was like, hey, I love Ripaverse too. So this is clearly going to the CG side of things. This is Mark Miller CG full turn. Whether he knows it or
I
not.
wouldn't go that far. Rippaverse isn't CG.
It's adjacent. They were all on our buddy's podcast that we've been on, right? So it smells like Miller's grift time. Tyler sniping.
Is his his stuff is exclusive with Netflix too, right?
Which
Yes.
is why this
So he
bio has to be like,
yeah, he probably can't go to the other publishers.
And maybe it's a situation where Netflix is saying no to this. Like, for me, this feels like he's maybe stuck in a corner and is taking advantage of the fact that you're right. Some of that grift piece he can kind of learn from. But, I mean, if he's. This feels a little more grassroots on his part.
I think that's.
He's going back to self publication. I don't know. I'm not going to knock that.
I hear you. Ultimately, I think you're right, but something about Mark Miller doing this rubs me the wrong fucking way. And it wouldn't if it was most other people, but he's just getting in a weird ass area, man.
Yeah,
I
he's getting
don't
in bed
know.
with some interesting people.
Better Kickstarter than what's the other one?
I don't think the other one exists anymore.
Oh, is it not around anymore?
No, it is, but I think most people use Kickstarter for comics because of the discoverability.
Sure.
Yeah.
Gavin Guidry says his 90-page hardcover horror graphic novel on Kickstarter is 380% funded, no grift included. Dude, I'd much rather be talking about that than this. Where's the link at?
Yo,
We're
pass
your
that
boys.
shit.
Where's the link at? We would help.
Man,
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
and also
need-
like
I don't know, guys. I need a little grift,
the grift,
just a little.
the grift is tempting, right? But like Gavin, I have confidence yours is going to come out.
Damn. Well, to be fair, the Kickstarter, I mean, it looks like it's mostly done. Inks, layouts, colors.
I bet you Dark Horse and Netflix have something to say about this. Like, it just also is like, hey, this isn't Miller World in the bio, which is like a vote of no confidence for your own world.
Is it?
I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I think he has to do this because it's not that it's a vote of no confidence, is that he can't go anywhere else
right.
Right.
because his stuff is exclusive with Netflix.
And
I think
Dark
he's
Horse is
locked.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dark Horse is the publisher of his Netflix books, but he may not be able to even do a book with Dark Horse that's not a Netflix book, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like
Not
this
a Miller
pitch.
World book.
I mean, what you're saying makes sense, but no, that doesn't make sense.
Well, presumably the pitch does it like I'm sure there's somebody at Miller World with the Netflix partnerships that's saying, "Hey, no to this," for some reason.
So this is
And
the
I
runoffs of Miller World.
that would yeah, like the only way to get around that is to okay, I'm gonna do it via something else because I'm maybe getting pressed on this end to with the partnership that was supposed to facilitate my comics publishing.
I
Assume
also kind of go ahead, sorry.
no, presumably, yeah.
I kind of wonder if that partnership is still highly functional.
Yeah.
How did like
It's
Vatican
soured.
City was the most recent one, right? And no offense, I don't hear anyone talking about it.
Gavin, give us the link. Stop playing around. Shoot that link into the Discord or whatever. And is it still fundable? Like I want that
I'll
book.
make a slide
Are you
right
kidding
now,
me?
Gavin.
Yeah, we'll throw that in the description.
Oh, is it Lake Yellowwood Slaughter?
Yeah, that's it.
Funded
Yep.
in 95 minutes? Holy shit.
Wow. Good stuff, Gavin. Congratulations, dude.
Wow. 13 days ago, 532 backers. Hold up. I'm slapping this link in the thing if it's not there already.
The whole chat's looking for a link, and my man won't give it up.
Man, this is like Instagram comments after like a thirst trap gets posted. People are looking for the ad. Like, where do they get this?
I added the link in the chat. Oh, maybe he's talking about Discord.
Post the link. Post the link. Oh, this is
Marco
right
just
down
threw
my
that in the
alley
chat.
too. All right, hold on. Let's put up an image for a Kickstarter that I approve
But
of.
Gavin, if I pledge $75, my wife is gonna kill me.
She'll survive. Oh wait, I guess
It's a
yeah.
good cause.
Great point.
She would.
She will. You're
She
right.
would, yeah.
Wait a second.
Wow. Yeah, so Mark Miller, look, the book is gonna fund, I'm sure.
It's already
Uh,
funded.
oh,
Twice
it's
over.
already funded. Yeah, it's doubly funded. So great job.
Cool. Great.
Hey, good stuff.
Can't
Yeah.
wait to see the StreamYard streams you go on to next.
The fact that he went on Nerdrotic, man, that fucking
Chris Gore was on the show too, and like, I used to be a Chris Gore fan back there in G4, but no longer.
sucks ass. So we talked about the fact that the Marvel and DC crossover is going to extend into 2026. So what does that look like? Do you guys have now that we've seen what the first one is like, that it's Batman and Deadpool, and that one book is from the Marvel end and one is from the DC end. Let's assume that that is the way this will happen going forward. What is your dream book that they would do for 2026?
I have one out the gate that somebody suggested, and I fell so in love with. I had to go to the bathroom about it. Spider-Man and Nightwing. Spider-Man done by Pepe Larraz. No. Yeah, Pepe Larraz, and then Nightwing done by Bruno Redondo.
Ooh.
Or vice versa. However, yeah, that lines up with the format. Yeah.
I like that.
Nightwing's cachet is pretty big too, where I think that's big enough to co-star. I mean, if you want my unrealistic pick, it's Fantastic Four and the Terrifics.
Who's on it?
The Fantastic Four and the Terrifics. Oh, you mean creative? Jeff Lemire. I want Jeff Lemire back to do Terrifics, and I've never seen him do Fantastic Four, which is a very classic comic book style that he is doing well in, like JSA. He's done well in Black Hammer. So Jeff Lemire on writing. Gavin on art.
Nice.
I could see Gavin drawing a mean Fantastic Four.
I want to see Gavin's Terrifics, to be honest.
And Terrifics.
Actually, I just want Terrifics back in general. This is like me also asking for, let me get my Sideways Night Thrasher comic.
Man. I really like the idea of Superman getting one because Superman that character has blown up so much from a comic standpoint over the last decade. I feel like he should be in the mix. But I also think Wonder Woman would be great. I'll be honest, I'd love to see Wonder Woman Captain Marvel. I would pop for that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a Kelly book, not to pigeonhole her, but
She's done great work with both characters. And they're different, they're very different characters, but I think they're at their core, they're the same. So I would love to see how Kelly Thompson would find her way down to their core and sort of, bring them together. I'd like to read that.
Planet 628 here says, give me Power Pack and meet Super Sons.
That's a good one. I like that.
I want something with Leo Romero on art. The Nam and whatchamacallit?
Marco, you want, I'm gonna interrupt
Easy
you here
Company.
on purpose.
Yeah.
You want, out of all the crossovers, you want to go back to Nam?
Yeah, bro. The Nam crosses over with Easy Company.
And Marco said, give me War Crimes.
Sergeant Rock, bro. They gotta like figure things out.
Marco wants to dangle two people out of a helicopter for interrogation purposes and only let one of them come back.
Garth Ennis, Leonardo Fernandez.
Leonardo Romero, you want
No,
on that
he
book?
switched it up to Fernandez. We went old guard style.
Fernandez.
Oh, okay.
Why did you
I was
do
gonna
that?
say.
He said Leonardo Fernandez.
Yeah. I changed my mind.
Reading like a commencement ceremony.
Oh my god. Yeah, chat, keep throwing those out. I want to see what you guys have as far as the crossovers you want. I see some good ones. Superman and the X-Men by Rom V. Silhouette, you will throw a Rom V pitch out there no matter what the gimmick is.
As long as it is.
I like that.
There was one I saw earlier that was it was Thor and who was it? It was Thor and someone with Rom on it. And I loved that.
I like that. I could definitely. Ooh, Justice League Dark and Midnight Suns. How about that?
First of all, Marvel needs to solidify what the Midnight Suns actually are. I don't think they've done that. I just had a thought. Big Barda and She-Hulk by Kelly Thompson.
Interesting.
Drawn by
Leo Romero. I mean, I'm gonna bring Leo Romero back into this, but
No.
Lost it.
Yep.
Lost it. It's like, ooh.
you want Dodson on that one, Sean? You want?
Nope. I want Mattia De Luis on that.
Okay.
I want to
all
see
right.
how that
Oof.
brother draws.
That's some oiled up woman.
I'm ready for that. Jay Sage with the 199 pound. Thank you, brother. Gimme Janice Vell and Con L. Happy Saturday.
That sentence would sound fake, spoken outside of this podcast.
That crossover, it was Pete Collins. It was New Gods and Thor by Rom V and Oliver Coipel.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's
Wow.
what
That's
it
nice.
was.
Jesus. Barda and She-Hulk by Cho. Frank Cho. Listen, they'll get that comic will get
Hey.
banned.
That'd be too much outrage there. I'm a Frank Cho the GOAT person. I love Frank Cho. Entertain
Yeah,
me.
I love that.
Hydra versus Court of Owls.
Ooh.
Okay, like a Talon versus what? The Hive?
Hydra Cap.
Oh, Stevel.
Yeah. That now, Talon and Stevel aside, like I do really like that idea actually.
I like that being like the reveal of maybe something where it's like, oh, they've been working together this whole time behind the scenes.
No, I want them to fight.
You want action figures.
No, but I want like a secret evil war.
Mm.
There's something really appealing about that I think could be. You know what? Ben Percy.
Hmm. Wonder Woman and
Okay.
Captain Marvel,
Okay.
Tom King, Daniel Sampere.
Stop.
Go to hell.
Tom King on a Captain Marvel book is dangerous. But Tom King is a person I would like to see in one of these books. Only hasn't
Yeah.
really touched much Marvel.
I would absolutely like. I have less than zero desire to see Tom King involved in this. I just don't think that his sensibilities play to this kind of thing. I don't know, man. I don't see
Vision?
I have faith in him as
that.
a writer to be
Exactly,
able to.
Marco.
That was great.
That-
You don't think we
Yeah,
have
I'm
enough
not-
room in this book for a dissection of what the nuclear family is like in a 4-pager?
No,
Okay, oh, you might be right then. But if they were to do like a more longer form thing, I would kill for Tom King on it.
Shit! I just convinced myself. Fuck. Kyle Rayner and Vision, done by Tom King. Gabriel Walter. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
They have to work out their traumas. Kyle's being
He can't
you
go
know,
to he
his-
can't go to PC
the-
Richards anymore.
the first thing that happened to him was his girlfriend was fridged.
Yeah.
And then Vision being, he wrecked his whole family trying to be normal. And you know what?
I thought you were gonna say they have to work through their troubles being background characters when they're on team books.
Wow. See, that's a Mark Russell book, and I don't like that.
Entertain Me says Dark Avengers versus Crime Syndicate. That sounds crazy.
Dark Avengers. Which iteration?
Dark Avengers are getting cooked.
Oh yeah, easily. Here's the thing though, if we're doing a versus, most of the Marvel side's getting cooked. The power scaling is just different in DC. I could see like a Sentry. Who can Sentry team up with?
I think the big one everybody would want to see is Sentry Superman.
Yeah.
In my mind, though, that doesn't. I actually love that idea, but not because of the fighting. I think Superman talking to the Sentry could be interesting. Like, I am you without the void.
Hmm.
Can we throw Watchmen in here somewhere, or now we're going too far?
Yeah, I think we're.
Yeah, we're losing the
Sentry
plot there.
Doctor Manhattan.
Oof, man, Alan Moore would have crimes. He would start opening up his voodoo dolls, poking CB and Javens with the right needles.
Wow.
Uncaged saying
What
Red Tornado.
about a hero and a
Scarlet
villain?
Witch.
Like I was just thinking
Oh, interesting.
Namor versus Black Manta.
I don't think Black Manta would have a problem with Namor.
No, I don't either, but it'd be a cool fight.
Yeah, I think
Just
Black Manta
they-
is just a hater. Like he don't
Comes
give a shit
personal at some
about anyone
point.
else.
But the cool thing about that is, so is Namor.
They,
Yeah.
yeah. Those are.
Trying to think, Marco, a good like villain hero crossover. Or no, I'm sorry, villain crossover.
Well, no, I was thinking hero villain.
Hero villain, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
hero
that's a good
Villain,
question.
villain. I think Lex and the Maker. But again, that's one of those
That's
things where
villain,
it's
villain.
like, yeah, that's what I
No?
said. Yeah,
Oh.
but I think that's
Yeah,
like
villain.
how compelling does that be for a story when it just becomes more of a discussion?
Villain, I think Shocker and Captain Cold would be fun.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
How are you doing this and being successful at it? Help me.
Shocker has to reform the Sinister Foes.
Yeah.
Actually, Sinister Foes was Marvel's Rogues at the time.
Sure wanted to be.
Yeah, Boomerang. God, that was such a damn good book.
Common Sense with a 199 says Superior Spider-Man versus Batman from Justice League Gods and Monsters.
It's just Batman, isn't it?
No, that's the one who's a vampire, I think. And then, did we get the J Sages? 499. I
Go
don't
for
think
it.
so. Yeah. J Sage said, "Crazily, I'd rather we have Superman crossover with Carol. Her Cree name is even Car-L. Her dad's a military guy like Lois, and they're the strongest."
That'd be cool. Yo, distant cousin?
I guess in a way, yeah. Nightwing, Daredevil, Bruno Redondo. Speaking to me, bud.
Hendrik Perry says, let's finally swap Spider-Man and Batman Rogues Gallery and get an answer once and for all on who can do a day with the others. I swear to God, after we did that video where it was like what would happen if those characters swap villains, like so many channels started to do that concept, and social media people who do comic stuff. But I think that would be a lot of fun. Batman and Spider-Man, but it's not really a crossover of them. It's them ending up in each other's universes and having to deal with each other's threats. I think that would be cool.
In this Batman Deadpool crossover, does Deadpool just kill Joker? Like,
He should.
I agree.
He would.
Batman's finally just like, oh, thank you. I wanted somebody to do that for so long.
Well, alternatively, they're both crazed individuals. Maybe they just get along. Hey, actually, wait, pretty funny. Let's grab a beer.
It's the first time we see the Joker have a normal conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, you got any kids?
Daredevil.
Hey.
Deadpool's gonna whip out a crowbar, isn't he?
Yeah.
We've got a lot of people commenting all these crossovers and shit, and it's great. I love it. And we've got over 100 people here, but not 100 likes. Everybody who's commenting, you better make sure you like this video. I want to see the likes number go up. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We're only going to talk about this book for so long, so keep your crossover character pitches flowing. The Hood versus the Flash. What the hell is that?
Huh?
That's as random as it gets. Common Sense.
Here's the thing: anyone versus the Flash, they're cooked. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The Flash cooks everyone at Marvel, even like Quicksilver.
Even Quicksilver has nothing at all on the Flash.
Quicksilver's
Nothing.
a better superpower is being a dick than it is a super speed. Like that's done more for him.
I always say Quicksilver is fast, but the Flash is the definition of speed. Those aren't the same thing.
Yeah.
Like he is what speed is. You can't compete with that.
Although Sonic the Hedgehog giving him a run for his money in that crossover comic right now.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's horse shit.
It's
That
so
shit's mad
good.
fun.
It's so good. There's oh man, read that. It's Silver versus Sinestro. That's all I'm saying.
Super Job says, I was surprised this wasn't Deadpool kills the DC universe. Come on.
Well, not yet.
Why would DC agree to a book where their whole publishing line is killed by Deadpool?
Damn,
Money.
getting that TNA booking.
Hasbot's got a good one. Green Arrow, Iron Man.
Oh yeah, I see what you're working with there.
DWS 8028 says, but Quicksilver has a hot sister, so he's automatically better. Flash has a hot wife, so
There you go.
Wow.
Wally West, Peter Parker.
Interesting.
I do love that one.
Here's the one thing I've noticed throughout this entire conversation. X-Men not mentioned.
I've been thinking about one. I'm like, who would go
There's-
up against Magneto?
They're
Right,
so different in my head than even Marvel in a way.
Back in the day, this has happened.
They were the first ones. Yeah, it was X-Men.
It was
Teen
the
Titans.
X-Men and the New Teen Titans. Because they were like the top selling books. I don't know that DC has an equivalent these days.
Yeah, what's their equivalent? JSA? I'm trying to think of like the other team books too. It's like
Oh.
Birds of Prey, JSA. There's not that many
Actually-
at DC right now. Like being actively
What?
published.
I like that X-Men JSA crossover. Get Jeff Lemire to write some good juicy ass drama.
I don't see enough.
Down.
I don't see enough of a crossover there for it to thematically work for me.
Kurt Wildshit says the X-Men aren't Marvel characters; they're the X-Men.
That's kind of how I feel. Yeah.
It's a great point.
Honestly, if anything, throw X-Men in space. Like X-Men has fun in space all the time. Throw them in DC space.
Why not?
Have them go against, I don't know, Green Lanterns and Thanagar and giant egg planets.
Mothman and Pete Collins make a good point. X-Men, Doom Patrol.
Definitely.
Yeah, it could be good. They can have the Professor X and who's his name from Doom Patrol?
Oh, the fucking no.
Well, they can have like a race whose
Timothy
motor's
Timothy
stronger.
Dalton.
Yeah. Dr. Calden. There we
Steve
go.
Niles?
Calden.
Steve Niles is a creator, I think.
I know,
Niles Calder, though, is how you get there.
There it is.
You
Niles
were halfway
Calder.
there. Yeah.
That's what it is.
The Chief versus Professor X.
In a whose wheelchair is faster? That's what I want to see.
Oh, come on.
Get the
man.
motor going.
Xavier
Hawkman,
wins because he can walk.
Wolverine?
Yeah, that's true.
Hawkman Wolverine's very good.
Savage Hawkman, yeah.
Oh, shoot. Come on. X-Men New Gods by Cy Spurrier, art by the guy who did World Saga. Is that... That's not Ribbage, is it?
No. You like War World?
I haven't read it.
Oh.
I need to, but I haven't.
No, it's the same guy who did Last God.
Ricardo Federici.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to remember what it was. Some Italian.
All right.
Mystique versus Martian Manhunter. That's how did you? Well, I guess because they shapeshift.
That's just role playing.
You can have them be anybody at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
Suicide Squad and Thunderbolts. That makes sense.
And I think you can kill characters with that too. Yeah.
Totally.
Just have
Ooh.
Slipknot show up on that team.
Kurt Wildshit says Mystique versus Martian Manhunter. I like that.
Yeah, I like it's almost as good the second time around.
Yeah.
My
Do you
bad.
guys pay attention? We just said that. We just talked about that.
I've been reading through.
Great podcasting.
Jesus Christ. Oh man. All right. My enjoyment of this has ended. Thank you guys for throwing out all these different Harris. She says Lobo and Cosmic Ghost Rider. That's crazy.
Well, anyway, thanks for all these suggestions. We do have a show to do.
Oof. Yeah. It's gonna happen. We're gonna get Batman and Deadpool. We know it for a fact. September, not that long to wait for the Marvel side of things, and then the DC side of things will drop in November. So very cool. I'm excited, and I like the fact that there's more to come from both companies on the team up side of things. We've got a lot more show to do. Plenty more. Don't go anywhere. We're not going to talk about Marvel and DC anymore. Well, we're going to talk about them, but not the crossover between them. But this does happen to be episode 450. And so we do have a little something special planned for a little bit later on. So stick around for that too. That's going to be a lot of fun, I think. Before we get into that, we do have to talk about the book club. So this past Tuesday, we did the book club on Dark Avengers. I think it was great. I think it went off great. We had a good time having that discussion. It was nice to be able to talk about, Bendis era books, the best of the Bendis era, arguably. But June is coming around. And so we're putting the spotlight on the Fantastic Four. So what we want you to do is nominate across YouTube under the post tab, Discord in the book club thread, and Patreon for absolutely free. We want you to nominate the Fantastic Four book that you most want us to talk about. The final four, so the most nominated books, will make it onto a poll where our patrons will be able to vote. Every patron has a vote. One Patreon pledge, one vote. Uh, and that when the winner of that poll will be the book that we do for the book club. To the surprise of no one, a tremendous amount of Jonathan Hickman Fantastic Four nominations already.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I don't know how we synthesize that properly, but that's expected. How long does that run? 50?
Long.
Yeah.
Long, yeah. Too long for us. We'll probably have to do like the first big story, which I actually just read for the Evergreen stream over on
Yeah.
Near Mint. So we could do like the first 25, something like that. Oh,
Gavin
Gavin.
Guidry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yo, shout out 5 Comics Pals gifted memberships. Congrats to
Whoa.
Little Hootie, DJ, James the Mediamancer, Adrian Montanez, and Weedman Wade. Congratulations. Gives you access to quite a bit of extra content on YouTube.
Well,
Thank you,
Hootie,
Gavin.
finally big Hootie. Damn.
I wonder how the Blowfish are doing.
You don't get that reference, Marco?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow. He is a baby. Sean, does that mean you get to do your thing?
What thing?
Do we have the ability to do the thing on
No,
YouTube?
we're out of our 10.
Oh,
I
no,
checked.
we don't.
Okay.
We don't.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, we've already used up all of our free giveaways of gifted memberships, but thank you either way, Gavin. That's really
It'll
awesome.
roll
of you.
on to next time.
As a way of celebrating this being our episode 450, I said, we're not really gonna, do anything to celebrate. It's only 450. It's not like it's 500. But if you guys want to celebrate us, that's extremely nice. And again, there is something coming a little bit later on that should be a lot of fun and is in the spirit of celebrating the milestone, if you will.
With viewer participation. So
Exactly.
I don't know how long it's going to be
Uh,
time-wise, but we'll figure it out.
So keep your minds on the book club. We've got that coming up. Please, please nominate Fantastic Four books. Whatever it is you want to hear us talk about, whatever you're excited about, make sure you get those noms in. Now, I have the very distressing and unfortunate responsibility of talking about the passing of Peter David. Peter David, who, I mean, I got to imagine every single person who can hear my voice right now has read a Peter David book. He's done so much in comics. I mean, just an endless list of books that the man worked on. Um, he's been dealing with health issues for quite some time now. Um, his first GoFundMe was launched in 2022 after he had um, strokes, heart attack. Um, he's had a very hard time, a very very hard time. I feel like we've been talking about Peter David's health forever. Recently, he was dropped by Medicaid, which is a disgusting failure of our
Yeah, great
health
job,
system.
US.
A guy on his deathbed, and they just say, "Oh, you're on your own." Um, and it's been hard. This is a guy who has contributed so much to the Hulk. I mean, the Hulk, just that character alone would be dramatically different if not for Peter David's pen gracing the character. Um, He's the guy who wrote the Death of Jean DeWolf arc, which is a critical piece of Spider-Man's history. So he contributed a lot to the Spider-Man character. Um, just endless, endless, endless material we just wouldn't have without what Peter David did. The amount of creators who were influenced by Peter David. I mean, fucking Aquaman, Star Trek, Babylon 5, Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans have been losing their minds over this because I think he wrote some stuff for that as well. X Factor, which is legendary.
Uh,
Just so many things. Spider Man 2099, just like endless stuff that he contributed to.
Star Trek novels too, if I'm right, Cale, right? Like
Yeah.
Oh,
he was
wow.
a
Yep.
big Star Trek novel writer.
Yep.
He gave Aquaman the hook hand, man.
Your favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kurt Wildschut here has a good point. Not everybody gets to come back to the team book they created 2 different times, but Peter David did with X Factor, and wildly different. You know, that second X Factor run with multiple men leading the team. It was more like a detective agency. Wildly different book, but great, and it was an evolution of a writer at the big 2.
Whenever we have to do this, I always say that, you know, human beings, our lifetimes are relatively short when you compare it to the existence of the earth and the cosmos and everything else and the history of humanity. Your lifespan is a drop in the bucket in relationship to that. And most of us are forgotten within about 2 generations of existence. What allows your legacy to live beyond your life is good works and good deeds and relationships and creativity, art that stands the test of time. And Peter David has absolutely done that and contributed that to the comics medium in a way that most people can only dream about. There are people who have had careers that would be considered successful that don't touch what Peter David got to do in his life. And I have to imagine, without knowing the man, that he was happy with his contributions because he got to touch so many different spaces, so many different lives. You go to a comic book convention, you see Peter David there. There's always somebody who's talking to him, always somebody praising what he did and what he achieved. Um, it goes beyond comics. It goes beyond comics. He touched every space he cared about. What can you do more in life than that? And have a family, be a successful father. What more can you ask for in life than that? That's a life well led. And I'm angry because people die. That's going to happen. But the fact that his family has to have GoFundMe
Over and over again.
multiple times. When we just saw a fucking movie with his character, man. So like Spider-Man 2099 was his character. And that movie made so much money and it touched so many people and they don't know who Peter David is and the people who made the movie, the company behind the movie, the company behind all this stuff doesn't help. What would it cost? Oh man, so frustrating.
But Sean, they put him in the credits, right? That's good enough, right? No, it
No,
sucks.
man.
And like the fact that like Peter David was up until he couldn't anymore at every convention I've been to.
Hmm.
Which like the positive of that is yes, he gets to meet all the fans and he was probably enthusiastic to meet fans. The negative side, unfortunately, is he probably needed to.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like you don't even
out
get
of
to
obligation.
retire in this industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's shit. It's not good that this is the way the world, specifically the U.S. too, works. Like this guy was in the ICU for most of the last couple months, and you know what? That shit ain't cheap. And Medicaid's like, oop, I don't know, must be a pre-existing condition somewhere. Let's just drop you. It's despicable, and the family has to deal with that. So it sucks that the American healthcare system is GoFundMe at this point.
I know that Marvel has no legal responsibility to do anything in this situation. They don't. But man, how do you watch this and not want to do something? You know, like I think about and like please don't get into the comparison or the nitty-gritty of like the kind of guy that Vince McMahon is. But I think about situations that happened with former wrestlers. And the one good thing I can say is that a lot of times WWE, with no legal obligation, would help them. You know, they sent Scott Hall to rehab and paid for his rehab when he was having a really rough time of it with drugs. Jake Roberts, same thing. They employed Eddie Guerrero's wife, Vicky, for well over a decade after he passed away, you know, to make sure that that family had money coming through. Marvel ain't broke. And we always talk about what they don't pay creators to do work. That's cool and all, but Peter David's family shouldn't be suffering, looking for us to support them while Marvel watches the guy die. That fucking sucks.
I think that's the difference. Your question was, how can you watch someone sit there and die? They're not. They're not. They don't care.
Peter David would show up on their radar when they have an anniversary book that they need to pop a number on. It's the creators are only tools for the companies.
Yep.
Yeah. And once it's done its job, that's it, right?
It's work for hire, baby.
Yeah.
It's that old what's that adage that comics will break your heart? It's like a Kirby
And
quote,
your mind and your soul
or kill you.
and your body.
Yeah.
Your finances.
I don't want to see the Peter David, rest in peace fucking pages in the books whenever, print catches up to this. I don't want to see that because you didn't do anything to prevent this or at least take away the financial burden from his family. And they could have, and they did not.
And I bet you in that tribute page, the artist does not get money for that page.
It's very, very frustrating, very sad. But putting my anger aside, Peter David lived an incredible life. I'm sorry that it ended in pain. But again, when you get to create and live the life that he lived, creating characters, creating stories that will live well beyond him, hats off. You won at life. You did a great job in life. And we're all better for having been able to exist at the same time as you. So thank you, Peter David. Genuinely.
Yeah. For all the creation, all the work, that's the best legacy you can leave behind outside of it is the legacy you can leave behind. So thank you for that.
Rest in peace.
Yes. Rest in peace. All right. We'll bring back the fun here, because this is a show that is not always dreary. And so we'll shift gears over to DC. DC's All In has been the talk of the town. It seems like they can't miss, and there's more to come in the All In era. DC loves to put out a timeline for what's happening in their books. They've been doing this for a few years now, and we got the most recent one, and it teases some interesting things. Most notably, is for July through September of 2025. They're teasing the Legion of Darkseid, which
Oh,
appears like it's going to be taking place within the Superman brand of books. Um, the Legion of Darkseid. So, what we know is that Superman 28 and 29, which come out, these are the books we know about that are coming out during that time frame, tease Superman going up against Darkseid's Legion, which is a pretty big deal because we saw in the All In special that there was a legion that's corrupted and perverted by Darkseid's energy, and Booster Gold um, was trapped with them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when they now, I guess, come into mainline and encounter Superman.
I'm excited for the Legion to finally look cool.
Well, I mean, come on, it's still a Legion.
Legion is such an unknown for me. It's just something I've never really been not interested in. I've always been interested in them, but I've never really read them. I tried Bendis's run, and, but it's one of those things where like real DC heads are like, no, you need to read Legion, and it's just I've never gotten to it. So finally being in a place where like during my reading where they can be important in the immediate is exciting for me.
This is cool. I like that we've been leading with a lot of Superman focused events, moments. I think that for me, it's a positive sign when the company's being led by hope than something like a Batman event where things can be a bit darker, dimmer. And so I like this. This still feels like uh this feels like a good versus evil fight in like even the like in metaphorical ways. So I'm excited for this. Also the potential for a Justice League Dark. Excuse me.
Well, what Marco could be referencing is that there is a Justice League Dark Tomorrow special #1. Um, so this is the solicit. Apocalypse is on the horizon and no one is safe. In the wake of the We Are Yesterday crossover epic, a mysterious quantum quorum has emerged, stalked by a lethal enemy that takes no prisoners. The League deputizes a ragtag group of time-displaced heroes like Batman Beyond, Gold Beetle, and Helena Wayne to fill the void left behind by the Time Masters. What am I reading? And save the quorum from the mysterious threat. What am I reading?
Like how you're reading that, and I have the cover up for the first issue. None of that's there.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like Helena Wayne, I'm interested. I love Huntress, but where's Booster Gold wearing a poncho in that solicit?
I don't know.
It's not Justice League Dark, Marco. It's Justice League Dark Tomorrow. Don't get excited.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. It's more akin to a Justice League Odyssey, if anything. This is like they're exiles.
Although Batman Beyond.
Ooh, can I have another hot take?
They
Only
should
been
stop trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah, he's only been interesting in the cartoon.
Oh no, he can do it. He can do it.
They've been trying to do it. They can't. They only care about Bruce Wayne.
I buy the books.
And honestly, I think the costume only looks cool in the animated series.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
I don't think it
Wrong.
translates.
No, you're
I
right.
think Batman Beyond can work just fine. They just need to stop trying to make him interact with mainline heroes.
Yes.
He needs to be siloed and just tell good stories with him by himself.
In the future. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
In 2019, right?
Let me check the calendar. Oops.
Yeah, this is cool. I think it's All In has been great so far. It's time now for something to happen.
Yeah.
Like this for something meaningful to move things forward. So it seems like DC is ready to do that, which I'm excited about. And they're teasing for what they tease for the fall after the Legion of Darkseid is just an Omega symbol. That's all they're showing is an Omega symbol. So that's pretty ominous. What could that mean?
The Omega Men.
Oh, that'd be wild.
Tygor is going to be the big bad of the DC universe.
He has the dark side force.
Honestly, I can see them pulling those guys in for something.
I have not read the last issue of Aquaman. Have we addressed the Omega symbol yet?
Not fully. No, it's still tackling just that
His
underwater
misadventures.
epic.
Yeah.
if you want to see the Omega symbol again, read the most recent issue of Justice League Unlimited. Popped up there. Common Sense with the 199. Justice League Legacy should make a comeback. Also, Justice League 3001. Oh, God.
3001. That was Howard Porter drawn one, I think. Like during the Rebirth era, something like that. We got,
Hey, Neon Knight Rider coming through with the $10. Thank you so much.
Uh-oh. We don't need to read that. Fuck
oh,
off, Neon Knight.
oh,
Thanks for the $10.
That's yeah. Fuck that. Thank you, Cale, for jumping in there. Uh, yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's going on the DC side of things. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad. I gotta say, I'm glad they don't have a big like tentpole event running right now. Like a big summer event. Like We Are Yesterday is cool, but it doesn't feel like a big, summer blockbuster. I like that they're kind of cooling it, letting All In do what it's doing, and then we'll get something a little more substantial in the fall.
Feels more like seasons of a TV show. Like we're just telling a story, we're going through. We're not having a crossover episode right now. We don't need one. The show is working.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that it's finally sort of addressing and moving on the story, but it's not a massive crossover or whatever that is putting a stop to everything. It's a story arc in the bigger narrative that is the DC universe right now.
I am trying so hard right now.
Cool. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, just drop it, Sean. Drop the hammer you like to drop. Yeah, I can't. It'll ruin my stream. But yeah,
You got it. You got it. Yeah, so there is one last piece of news that I wanted to jump into. It's more of news is probably the wrong word. It's more of a rumor. And Leading Cool, hosted by Rich Johnson, loves to play in rumors, and I mostly they hit the nail on the head. So I feel comfortable talking about this. They feel that they have the scoop on the plans for DC's Vertigo. MCM London Comic Con just happened, and whenever that event happens, Rich always comes away with something. And everybody's excited about the return of Vertigo. That is going to be DC's kind of like creator-owned-ish type of storytelling. It's an imprint unto themselves where they can do things that don't involve superheroes or any of those kinds of characters. Um, and so these are the creative teams that allegedly are going to be the first three behind Vertigo. Dennis Camp and S. Morian. I'm not sure what the S stands for. Kyle Starks and Steve Pugh, Chris Condon, and Jake Phillips. Now, what you'll notice is that all three of those creative teams have done prior work together. Because Dennis Camp and Morian, that's the creative team for 20th Century Men. Starks and Pugh, they did the Peacemaker Tries Hard book, and Condon and Jake Phillips, that's that Texas Blood.
Vertigo cooking. I think this is you get established teams to do the line again, like to relaunch, because I assume there's going to be an actual relaunch happening. They'll probably market it as a full on relaunch. These are some hot new. A lot of dudes. So maybe we can get a fourth in there. But they are good books.
Yeah, Vertigo as the place to do creator owned, more independent stuff. I mean, that's where you get Why the Last Man. So I think this fits exactly. This is the MO, right? So this is perfect. And to get these kinds of creators, Steve Pugh on it, a Dennis Camp, Chris Condon, plus they've worked together. I think that is also cool because it further pushes that this is creator owned. These are people who have done the work in separate spaces and are now coming back to do it here. So perfect.
Yeah, this rules. This Vertigo's cooking, it doesn't even exist yet. Like, you know, this is gonna fucking rule. And I feel you with the you know, all dudes comment there, but you know, I think Vertigo traditionally is a segment of DC that is about innovation, and that's not to say that that's here or that that's locked in here, but that will come. You know, these are just the hot people with the hot hand coming to announce you know, the big new
Yeah.
initiative.
I also like the fact that they chose creative teams that
Uh,
have already
Sean-
worked together.
Sean, you're super
Because
low. Did you? Anyone else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could barely hear you either.
is it any better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I like the fact that they chose creative teams that have worked together already, because it means that they've got an established rapport with each other, and may well have already had ideas in the tank that they wanted to push out, but didn't have the space. So to me, it's great that one of the big two companies is putting their budgets behind creator-owned books.
Mm.
That's awesome.
And I think that one bit too that the Bleeding Cool states is that this is also a response to people complaining about long runs not being a thing anymore with the singular creative team. Yeah, that smells like Why the Last Man to me. That doesn't smell like a like Tinian's last or Lake House books. What are they called again?
Nice house.
Nice,
House.
the Nice House books. Yeah, that smells like, hey, we're gonna have a story, and it's going to be told for a while. It's more like a scalped.
Ideally.
It's more like a scalped. More like a Why the Last Man saga in a way, even though that's not Vertigo, but that kind of style
Yes.
that people have been clamoring for, and that sometimes creator owned can't do because books don't last. At least this has backing with it.
I'm with you. The only thing that feels slightly, and again, it's Rich saying this, so it isn't a criticism of DC because we don't know. But the idea that this is in response to books not going the distance feels a little bit disingenuous, because DC controls whether the books go the distance or not. Nobody else.
Yeah, that Metamorpho book just ended because of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, and also like, you know, when we have long running independent books, we get stuff like The Wicked and the Divine or Saga that you just lose track of eventually and they fizzle out.
Yeah, like if DC's saying they're committed to making sure that these books come out on time and get to finish their run regardless of sales, I mean, that's the greatest thing of all time. But that is not going to happen. DC's never going to say, and neither would Marvel for that matter, we're going to publish this book in perpetuity until you're done, no matter what the sales look like. That's not the real world. So again, it's not DC saying this, but I wish that wasn't a part of it, because I don't want that expectation out there, because that's not how this is going to work. If the books sell, then great. But if they don't, they will go back on their word.
Yep.
There could be a guaranteed, like maybe 12, but that doesn't really respond to that criticism.
Exactly. 12. I mean, we could get 12 issues of just about anything at this point. I mean, except Metamorpho, apparently.
Only 6.
But yeah. Uh, um, I wanted to call out this comment because it's really nice, and I think it's a good way to brighten our spirits on this, our 450th episode. Izzy's issue says, it is so cool that now there are more live viewers on a Saturday than total views on an entire month's worth of videos from early on. Not only is Izzy right, but Izzy would know that because Izzy has listened to our entire backlog.
all of it.
Which might be for the negative, as we'll soon find out.
Well, for both us and Izzy. Unfortunately, Izzy's a worse person for having done all that.
Yeah, I wonder what the corruption is like there.
Yeah, gotta
Because
be deep.
it's got to affect you at a molecular level. at
Yeah,
this point.
yeah.
And
Well, all that
Oh,
time,
shit.
I
all that
don't.
time of Phil, like,
It's true. I don't.
oh,
I don't apologize. I've only been here a little bit.
The opening bit.
so many opening bits.
Ay, ay, ay.
We should do a new one. Let's do one next week. You got a character
Yeah,
you've
the
been meaning
opening
to
bit is
debut,
I
Marco?
won't be here.
Oh, okay.
That's not true, by the way.
It was Pavlovian the time Sean set me up for that. It was like he rang a bell and I said, "Ooh, treat."
Oh shit.
Uh,
Yeah, thank you, Izzy, for saying that.
I was looking at other titles for Vertigo books, like what has been published. On Wikipedia in the 2024 relaunch section, somebody has, I think, trolled the wiki because it says there's also an upcoming Yuri hentai manga series based on a Kiss for a Petal visual novel, and it goes into straight detail about why this is why it's
Is
problematic.
there a like something linking to that?
Yeah, dude, it like links out to a whole bunch of different things. It starts talking about different sexual acts, and it's like
Okay,
unlike
I'm not
most
saying
DC
it links
Vertigo
out to
comics,
Yaoi. I don't think we need to talk about Yaoi on the show.
it links out to Yuri.
Yeah,
Yuri. Okay,
very
sorry.
different.
Different.
Yeah,
Different
very
than
different.
Yaoi. Okay.
Yep.
What's the difference, Marco?
One is boys, one's girls.
Oh, okay. That's all it was? All right.
Yeah.
It's like it's not like a Fudanara type thing, right?
No, that's
okay.
Fudanari.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, hey, self-report. Sean recognized what that was.
That's just Fuda.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we've all been on the internet. I want to answer this question because it's pertinent. Zushu says, "Is Vertigo the same concept as Ghost Machine?" No, but I want to explain why it's not because that's important. So, Ghost Machine is an imprint under Image, but it's founded and operated by the creators who all are owners of Ghost Machine. So they all have stake financially. They have say, not just creatively, but from an operational standpoint. But Image handles the the like production stuff, like the bigger picture stuff that Ghost
distribution.
Machine. Yeah, exactly. The Ghost Machine creators don't have to deal with. Whereas this is more like DC owns DC. They also own Vertigo, but they are soliciting and bringing in creative teams to do books that are going to be exclusive and more likely than creator fully owned is creator participation, whereby they're profit sharing, and maybe the creators own the rights to it in the sense that if they were to leave, then their books would go with them. But as long as they're working with DC, I would imagine that DC would have publishing rights and there would be some sort of sharing in the profits of the book. That would be my assumption.
Is there a Vertigo title that's left Vertigo and continued elsewhere?
Oh my God. What's it called? Willingham Fables, because I think that got
Oh,
that went from Vertigo to Black Label, and now it's probably going to go back to Vertigo.
Well, I'm talking like outside of DC proper.
Oh,
Yeah,
probably
that was one that was
not.
just still ongoing. That when Vertigo got disbanded, so that was just
Gotcha.
a circumstantial thing.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they all stayed
Yeah, I think
within the
so.
realm. The only thing that I can think of that like bounced around was Powers, but that was when like it was part of Icon, then Image, and all that.
I'm looking now, and it looks like, from what I know, and maybe someone knows better, these are all books that have stayed with DC.
Yeah,
Um,
isn't essentially them just because they still have rights, but they don't have the same amount of rights if they went to Image with Vertigo, right? Like it's still like when DC decides to put out, I don't know, like a Y the Last Man show. I think they had a pilot or something that was filmed.
A whole season.
yeah,
There was a whole season.
Yeah, dude, it was
Shit,
alright.
yeah,
It's fine.
that's why I didn't see it. It was all right. I'm sure that like those creators probably got a good chunk, probably not the same amount of chunk that would be if it was fully creator owned. So it is DC kind of fishing for the creator owned feel.
yeah.
Oh, Atomic Count saying Saucer County. The Saucer County, that was the Saucer Country rather. Was that Jay Bone on that one?
That was a comic?
Yeah, no, Tom McNally, he's just recommending a diner that I should go to.
Oh.
Cosmic November with the $5 says, "Happy 450 Comics Pals. Glad I was able to watch this milestone live and love being a viewer for over a year now." That's really kind of you. Thank you so much, Cosmic November. And Cosmic November joined us over on Patreon for a year. He decided we're for him. He's been listening for a year. He said, "Okay, I've listened for a year. I know I like these guys. I'm going to subscribe on Patreon for a full year because I'm sure I'm going to continue to like them."
Surely.
Yeah, what could go wrong? Yeah, so anyway, this is exciting. Vertigo being back is cool, and I think all these creatives involved are great, and this should result in some pretty good books, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Now, we told you we have something to end the show with. It is going to be a celebration of our history and our reaching episode 450. Now, I know very little about this, so I cannot guide us through this conversation. But what I can say is that from what I know, this is a game that we are being introduced to called Comics Pause. Not PAWS, not PA''S like Papa. This is PAUSE. The kind of pause that Comics Are Dope loves to put in the chat when I talk.
Word.
Pals pause.
I think it might have been rebranded to Out of Pocket Pals.
Oh,
that was the working title.
Okay, got it.
I didn't. Pals pause is a little bit cleaner. Izzy and I didn't talk about that.
Got it. Well, branding, the PP, we're big on
that's
PPs
it.
here.
Well,
Love PP.
Yeah. It's better we say that and not we love the other abbreviation.
So Izzy a long time ago told me that he was going through the entire catalog. And then one day I had the idea, I bet there's some dumb shit we've said that none of us even remember. And so I had the thought, let's make a game out of that. Now, I don't totally know what Izzy has in store, but my understanding is we are going to be confronted with the heinous bullshit that we've said, and I think we have to guess who said it.
oh my fucking
It's a
God.
full on game. So
Yeah,
I have it
yeah.
up on the stream now. It is a Kahoot. The listeners can join. If you scan that QR code
Oh, let's go.
on your phone, it'll bring up the options to answer the questions, and there will be a winner by the end of this. I will not be participating because I had to review it to make sure it worked for the show. So I unfortunately know a lot of the answers.
damn.
Oh man,
but-
I made a test question very specifically so that you wouldn't have to do that. But
Yeah, I
well.
got too into it.
right,
And I was just making sure like my shit wouldn't crash while I was doing it too. So yeah, if you scan that QR code there, or you go to the game pin, it's a Kahoot thing. I think we only have a max of 40 because otherwise it costs like hundreds and hundreds of dollars to do this. So I don't imagine us getting more than 40. You can join in, and it's going to be multiple choice. There will be a quote. It'll be multiple choice, and you figure out who said it.
Do we have to go into the Kahoot?
Yeah, join, Sean.
Yeah,
Get on
yeah.
your
Oh,
phone.
we
Do we
have to.
have?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have the link so we can also pin it in the chat?
I don't think it's not a link as much as you have to go to the website and type in the pin.
Word.
let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Wow, look at
Join.
this. This
I'll cut
technology.
it off at a certain bit. So, full disclosure, this is from the beginning of the Comics Pals.
Yeah.
So there might be
Holy
some
shit.
names as options here that people aren't even familiar with at this point.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh, does this include the video game pals? Do you know?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
And
Probably for the best.
Izzy was good enough to even include thumbnails for the episodes and citations of which episodes these things happened on.
Wow.
There's one thumbnail that I have questions about. This is before I was there. Is Marco shirtless in this thumbnail? I think.
Oh yes, I know which one you're talking about.
Oh, yep, me too.
That'll be making an appearance.
Huh, I don't. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. So thank you, Izzy, for doing this. I've thought about doing a Kahoot and just couldn't figure out the best way of doing it, and this is a great test run for it. So fun.
I'm blown away. Thank you so much. I can't believe someone would spend their time trolling through our news show. Like, if we were making stuff that you could like
Yeah,
actually
you were
listen
even-
to, over a long period of time like this, like I never thought people would go in the reverse order.
For
And
real.
that's before we were even doing reviews, right? You were
Yeah.
just
Oh, yeah.
doing you were speaking Japanese for hours.
Yapping. I don't like that one bit.
Yapping, yeah, you just yapping? No?
Ted H sent 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, Ted H, and congratulations to MD Johnny, my dude. Bat Cato, Soulzen 2000, Sammy Southers, and Etienne. Congratulations on your channel memberships, and thank Ted H for doing that. Thank you, Ted H.
Etienne is a good name. Isn't that the Power Fantasy guy's name too?
Yeah,
Etienne, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good name. I like it. All right, I'm gonna have to call it up after a certain point so we can get this going.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll give it a few more minutes. Because I see how many people do you? I see 13 on the screen. But
13 are people. Yeah, it's gonna be 13. Yeah. Oh, Hound joined,
All right,
so now we
yeah.
can start. And Sean joined. There we go.
All right, yeah. So let's jump into it.
Let's go for it. All right. So first question. Let's start. And I think you can join after the fact as well. So this is out of pocket, pals. Man, I gotta put on my old Quistery hat on for this. All right, so so Izzy has some preamble for this. It's a game of zany quotes derived from the pals back catalog. Celebrating 1 year of my joining this rad community, I put this together from my dig in the backlog. Some of y'all have said some highness shit. I wanted to clip everything for this, but I usually listen while driving, so I couldn't timestamp the stuff. I'm glad. And how many accents have you been into because of this? Don't answer.
So many.
Practice round. Okay, this is just the practice round. I can just. This is an easy one. Which pals' proclivities have earned them the nickname the Winter Soldier?
No, my thing is behind.
The stream will be a little bit behind, but your phone will get it immediately.
I don't have the question.
Is it
Yeah,
just?
I got symbols.
Oh,
Yeah, I
well,
just got
okay.
symbols.
So yeah, just go for what you see on the screen. Then it'll be a delay, but
It said my time is
it'll
up.
only be a delay for you
Yeah.
guys, unfortunately.
No, it said my time is up already.
Yeah.
Oh,
we didn't
really?
get it.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let's see. I can probably change this real quick. Let's see.
I think we might have to have it in the Zoom to get it to work
yeah,
right.
for you guys for sure. Yeah. Let's see.
So okay,
Oh, here we go. Here
obviously
we go.
the answer is Sean.
I could do this. So it's going to show the question on the phone as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that's probably the best way of going about it. All right. Let's try the next one. This could. I wish I could change the time, but I think this is the stuff they lock behind. Let's see. Slider personalized team talk. Okay. No, we're good. All right. You'll get the question on your phone now. Let me know if that works.
Rad.
All right. And the lead, entertain me. So there we go. And speed is a thing. So on the
Oh, I see it
slides
now.
for the next question, and now that you have the question on your phone, you'll get it before I even say it. But this will show the thumbnail for the episode the quote is from. Cite your sources. So this one is only from us, only from the pals proper. These questions. So first one, let me know if you get the question on your device there.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
that
support
answers
bullying.
it. Yeah. So we support bullying. Who said we support bullying?
I feel like that's a me.
There's a lot of
glad
them
I'm
that's
not
like
an option.
I did not do well in this. I will say when I did the solo, because I was bored. I
Sounds
didn't
like
do
Tyler.
well. Okay.
I think I remember saying that. I feel
I
like
voted
it's me.
Cale.
Yeah.
I would hope you would remember saying such a thing. I mean, here's the thing. Whether or not I said it, I agree with it.
Look.
I've
The
heard
answer is
Brink-
Phil.
Yeah, that's a Phil quote.
That's a Phil quote.
Really?
That makes sense. That makes sense
Wow.
too.
Yeah.
My backup pick was Pete. That's crazy. Hendrick, I don't support bullying. No, I don't.
Hey,
And
Wow.
Steve, I was with you. I also guessed me.
So Mago jumped up in the lead there.
Damn.
All right, this one's that was in episode 240, by the way, where I guess you talked
Wow.
Demon Slayer. Yeah, it's a different time. All right,
And the X-Men.
the quote is, "I'm not trying to shill unless they give me money."
That's Cale.
Cale.
Done
feel
in a
like-
flash.
Yeah, as you say that, Marco, your entire screen is just flashbang to me.
I saw it. Yeah.
Jeez,
Whoop.
I'm seeing double now.
I think that might be a Sean.
Oh, what the
It's
hell?
a Sean quote.
Fuck.
Whoa.
Didn't even know yourself there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, I don't, I guess. I'm
I-
in last place.
I think I remember hearing you say that. I don't know if I was on the show at that point, but yeah. Mago 18 is in the lead still on this one. That was
Who
episode
is that?
64. That's deep.
Holy shit.
I'm surprised there was a thumbnail for it.
I was going to say, look at this thumbnail.
All right. Animal cruelty is worse than a school bombing. Who said that?
That boy.
Yeah, this one did not ring a bell for me.
No idea.
I think that's a Pete or a Phil.
I said Pete. I said Pete.
I said Phil.
I like
It's
how
Pete.
Cale and Marco are in the clear for this one. Not an option. That's a
Oh,
Sean
what?
quote.
Fuck.
Who was it?
Sean.
No
Whoa.
way.
That's a Sean quote. Sean Pro Animal.
I'm sure I can imagine that was being said in reference to something specific.
Civil War,
and not-
probably. It probably a
my
Civil War
opinion.
thing.
Yeah.
Mago still in the lead.
Yo.
That was from Palace
Incredible.
Polls. This was when I was on. The Reckoning War
20
begins in 2022. Jeez, what the fuck? What book did we read with the Watcher? Or yeah, what the fuck? All right, whatever.
There
It's-
It
was.
was the Reckoning War.
It's the Reckoning War.
Yeah.
Good. Couldn't tell you what that is. This quote is, "I felt the length, but I didn't mind."
Oh, Marco.
That
saying
feels like a
Marco.
Marco.
There, I was going to say me too. I'm going to say Tyler. Just.
You say me?
Tyler.
Damn. Yeah, this was me.
Yes.
Damn it.
A little wordplay.
Yeah.
I can't help myself.
Yeah.
Fuck. I suck at this.
I felt I didn't mind. And taken
Right.
out of context,
Ooh.
that sounds even more amazing.
Mago.
Yep.
Who is Mago? You got to let me know who Mago is. That's interesting. They're still in the lead here. But Steve M climbing up the ranks there. I like how they add that. That was in Palace Polls 2023 when we were doing a Star Wars book.
Oh. Dark Droids.
Yeah. Oh, Dark Droid's good. All right. The quote is, "How long has it been since we talked about soaking?"
I think that's a me. Because we had there was a period of time where we were talking about soaking all the time.
Soaking is fascinating to me. And then what do you call the jumpers, Cale?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Somebody in the-
Cale, notorious soaker.
somebody in the
listen.
chat has to know.
I'm the only Christian here.
It's a Cale quote. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Cale.
Jumped up to 8th place. Hot
Let's see.
dog.
Man, none of you guys are in the top 4 or 5.
No.
You guys
We
lived
suck,
this and you don't know the answers.
Incredible.
All right, next one up.
The
That was from
Provo Pusher.
that was from Flashpoint when we did the Flashpoint return thing. What was it?
Oh, sure.
2022. We need a discussion about why Americans are such prudes, but okay with hyperviolence.
Ooh, I think I know who that is.
Oh, I know who it is.
I think we do need to have that discussion.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
We have red band trailers, but no.
That's a Pete quote.
Hmm.
Oh, you're sure of it, and you were
Oh,
right.
damn.
Yeah.
Fuck, I thought it was me.
I
No.
thought so too.
He was always on that.
That's one of the ones I actually got right. Oh, Cale jumping into 3rd place with that one.
Whoa.
Holy shit.
Wow.
All right.
How many questions
And
are
that was from the episode where you did the Comic Spells fashion show.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Disappointing that there's no image of Sean doing this.
God, we
Also,
Never
Cale
mind.
went for it. Marco, come on. You can do better.
Oh, yeah. What was I?
You were you,
Nothing.
just
you were-
twinkier.
Yeah, you were bad, is what you were.
All right. Next quote. I didn't think there would be Nazis on the internet. My bad. That's a great quote.
Yo,
I feel like that's a Sean.
No, Sean would know.
I'm gonna go with Marco because he doesn't know anything.
I put Tyler.
Me? I know what Doja Cat was doing before she was famous.
Sorry.
Doja Cat
Sounds
was
like some
twerking on Skype for
out-of-pocket.
neo-Nazis.
Whoa.
I mean, it's the one thing I can agree with them.
Oh damn!
That is you, Marco. Because
Oh, it was.
you're a sweet summer
Yes!
child. Yeah.
Fuck. 9th place, dude. I need to make these jumps.
Does that bring Sean up anywhere? Because
That put me at 10th. I'm just behind Marco.
Pete Collins coming up though. Just surpass entertain me. And that was from episode 213, Exoswords plus Dark Knights Death Metal, where Marco is shirtless coming out of a box that says egg.
Oh,
Are you a
yeah.
Krakoa?
I
Are you a
remember
mutant being
that.
rebirthed?
It was.
Yes.
I was being birthed as a mutant.
So bad.
Of course.
So fucking bad.
This
I
is
like fell over
better
on my
than any
chair.
thumbnail I ever did. Did Pete do this thumbnail at this time?
Yeah.
I got
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Let me reach out to him. I got to thank him for this one. All right, the next quote. Why does Cassandra Nova have a fatty? This might be the easiest one since the test.
Yep.
It's you or me, Tyler. I think
That's
it's
fair.
me, but
I think it was
it
you.
is.
I think.
Yeah.
'cause
I'm actually even
feel like
forgetting from yesterday when I went through this.
I feel like I even remember the cadence. You like stopped and you were like, "What does Cassandra Nova have? The fatty?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Sean.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Split between us though. I appreciate you guys thinking that.
James,
I would be so crude.
James in the chat. This is our 450th episode. We are going through a quiz of all of our heinous quotes from the past 450 episodes. You should be able to join if you can get on
Yeah, right.
Kahoot.
Right at the bottom of the screen there, you have the website to go to, kahoot.it, and then the pin. So you could join in halfway through. You won't come in first place. That's just the way it is, but you could join. All right, anyone else? Oh, C.W. Gordon taking the lead with that one.
what? Nice.
And that was
He's
from
been
Pal-
around for a long time.
Yeah. Pals Polls during Devil's Reign. This Pals Polls.
Concludes. We were using the word concludes for a while now.
Okay, so the quote is, "We solved racism, everybody. It didn't even take 200 episodes."
Ooh,
Some
it's
Phil ass
a-
quote.
I feel like it's a Phil or a Sean. And you know what? It's the everybody. It's Phil.
I'm gonna go with Phil.
Yeah.
Oh, the everybody is a good bit. Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah.
And I wonder if this will make people want to check out the backlog now. That's it's fun. That's how I got on the show. It's a Pete quote.
Oh, wow.
Was
Whoa.
it?
It's a Pete quote.
Oh, Pete.
Yeah.
No
Wow.
way.
Of course.
Wow.
C.W.
Damn.
Gordon's still in the lead with that one. All right, and that was from episode 193. Are superheroes cops with capes? You guys are going for it back then. Gee.
Oh yeah.
All right.
We didn't have any listeners. We didn't have to worry about it.
The Marvel method is a cardinal sin. My man should be burned at the stake.
Oh, that's me. That's me.
Yeah. I don't see anybody else saying that.
Electrics, yeah, because of the way this stream is set up, you're probably going to get it on your phone beforehand, which, apologies. Probably could have done a little more workshopping there for that one, but just answer what's on your phone. You'll hear our reactions to it shortly after. And probably this preamble and me describing it will come late too.
Oh damn.
That's a Cale quote. Yeah,
Yes.
it's the my man.
Fuck.
The my man bit, I think, is a Caleism.
I doubted it. I saw it. My finger hovered over it, and I said, "No, it's probably me."
Who else is gonna talk about the Marvel method?
And be
How's
mad
it?
at someone about it. Yeah.
Right.
The sin of it.
All right, anyone? Oh, Cale coming up with second place. Oh, and Sean's on the board now.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Mid fifth. I'm coming.
Sean with the most horrifying icon.
Pause.
What kind of Harry Potter at? Yeah, right there, Marco.
It's an owl.
I'm fifth.
This guy's coming with his hooters. All right, it's episode 214, Ten of Swords finale. Here's a quote. You want to cheat on your wife? Go ahead.
Now, this is a tough one.
I know
Uh,
exactly who said that.
What?
hey, I wasn't on the show at this point.
It's about Marco for sure.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
It's
damn
a
it.
Sean
I knew
quote.
it.
It's a Sean
I
quote.
knew it.
Yeah.
Yep. I knew it. And I'm not saying that I think cheating on your wife is good. I'm sure I was saying, yeah, you could do that, but don't do all the other bullshit that some of these guys do. So it's probably about Joss Whedon or
Well,
one of
let's
those
see.
guys.
That's right.
It
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
It was
that's right.
episode. Sean's in third now. It was episode of Pals polls during 2022. Judgment comes from the Marvel Universe. This is early Pals polls. I don't even know if we called it that back then. Her quote is, "It only took 55 episodes to get to that coveted Baja Men joke."
Coveted.
That's a Phil. No question.
So somebody said, "Who let the dogs out?" 55 episodes in. Yeah, C.W. Gordon, Marvel hate on a Marvel podcast? No way.
I should have said Pete. That sounds like something in response to something that Phil would say.
A Baja Men joke.
Ah.
It's a Cale quote.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. All right.
It was
that might-
Cale?
It's Cale. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Whoa.
Well, that might adjust the leaderboards here. Oh, yeah.
It
Cale and
definitely
Sean
did.
just dropped down. Steve M and Mago surpassing them with that one. But C.W. Gordon, strong lead.
This dude is a beast.
That was from Disney tries to buy Fox and Bendis leaves Marvel for DC. Disney tries to buy Fox. Episode 55. They made an attempt back then. Eventually were
Jeez.
successful.
Look at that photo. That's
Yeah.
even a young photo of Bendis.
Yeah.
We've been doing it so long.
That's Bendis like pre-Washington State. Or
Yeah.
All
Wow,
right.
55.
Next quote. The worst thing is like genocide, then forcing me to get the wrong cover is right below that.
Easy. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy, huh?
Yeah.
I think it's me.
I mean, talking about buying covers.
Exactly. I'm always buying the wrong cover.
Oh,
Was
shit.
it me?
It was me. This is right before I went digital.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
You know, I like to make a
Wait,
hard
what?
stance on genocide too on the show. So,
Before you went digital? What does that mean?
okay, it's not what you think it means, Marco.
You think
I'm
he
not
got
an AI
digitized?
substruct.
Well, that was episode 55, no?
No, that was the previous question.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
show
not
for
the-
this episode.
Yeah. So that was from the Super Freaks Hit the Stands episode
Gotcha.
where I got to put Savage Dragon on a thumbnail.
Dude,
Alright.
if I can't beat fucking listeners at this game, I'm done, man.
This
these are
quote
quotes
is
from us.
this quote is the Minions did 9/11.
I listened to that recently. I remember this.
Fuck.
Banana. Oh, I think I know what this is in response to.
I don't know.
This is a clip that's floating out there somewhere. I've definitely
Oh.
heard this recently.
This is a
Damn.
Phil quote.
Yeah,
Ah,
It is.
shit.
easy.
That was Pete. Dude, I'm in 14th place.
Cale in second now. Ooh, Last Young Renegade on the board. Good stuff. That was from episode 264. All right, here's the quote. It's not character assassination. Guy Gardner is a dumb piece of shit.
Oh
Ooh.
man.
I-
You know what?
Is this
Fuck.
Human Target
I
era?
thought for sure this would be Phil, but since he's not on the board, I know exactly who this is.
What does that mean?
Oh,
That was me.
Damn it. How?
Yeah, that
what?
was me. That was me.
I had you, Cale.
I did too.
Nobody had me on that one. I'm pretty sure this is during Human Target. Yeah, Human Target hits. Yeah, this is me during the.
what?
Doing the
Wow.
thumbnails, yeah.
Well, you were right.
All right. For as little as $3 a month, you can support your boys and their drinking habits.
That's a Pete.
Is that what the original pitch for the Patreon was? Enabling?
You know what? Probably.
That's all it was. Come
we
on.
should get our
baby,
own
give me the
Comics
green.
Pals beer. should work with a brewery
that'd be
and come out
cool.
with a beer.
That's next. The next one. Oh, I got that one. Yes.
That's a Sean quote. That's a Sean quote. Any changes
knew it
here?
couldn't be
Ooh, Cale
Pete.
dropping down. Last Young Renegade taking over him.
Oh, come on, come on, come on.
And that was Pals Pulls in 2022. Do a power bomb goes extreme. Okay, so this is quotes from guests now coming up. These are not Pals quotes.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
fun.
it's your job as a comic creator to be an abuser. This is Jeremy Holt, Declan Shalvey, Ron B, or Kieran Gillen.
Oh,
This was interesting to me.
Wow.
These series of quotes.
That's tough.
No idea.
This is out of context. That's a Declan Shalvey,
Ooh,
Shalvey
I
quote.
got it.
yeah.
I thought so, but I fucking
Stop. Go with
Who'd
your
you
gut,
put?
Sean. Go with your gut.
I put Jeremy Holt.
Yeah, I thought it might be him too. Yeah, I thought it might be them too.
All right, Last Young Renegade taking the lead with that one. Woof.
Wow, how could you know that?
All right. Yeah, that was the Time Before Time Declan Shalvey interview.
Gavin said nailed this one. My guy Deck.
Do you know how hard it is to live with someone who hates everything and bitches about everything?
Oh, hey there, Dr. Hot
There
Dog.
it is. Yep, Dr. Hot Dog.
Yo, easiest
She's on it.
quote, dude.
She's
That'll
that
be,
was for
that'll
a
be
fun
episode 2.
Yeah. Holy
Alright,
shit! I better
and
get that shit right.
Answer
Yeah, okay.
is Jess. That would be from the
That's so funny.
Newlywed Game, episode 200.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, that
fun.
was good.
Yeah. Little, I guess. Yeah. All right.
Well, the percentage should stay true.
Which repeat guest frequently calls Marco Mark? Is that BJ, Sal, Rob, or Chris Sabella, who was on multiple times?
Who's Rob?
Ooh.
Rob, I guess it would be Rob from Comics Explained. It was 2 videos, but not really 2 episodes that he was on.
It's Sal.
Yeah,
It's
definitely
Sal,
Sal.
yeah.
Yeah. Ooh,
Fuck.
back in 4th place, baby.
And Marco on the board. He's on fire. Look at that. First one to get the
That's
fire
funny.
icon.
That's funny because every episode, I don't think I don't think there's been an instance where there's an O added. And I don't say
That's
anything because the name's on the Zoom.
It's true. That's true. It's like spell my name's in the email. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right
Listen.
not to do it.
All right. This one's expanded observations. This section includes some questions that don't neatly fit into other categories.
Expanded
Which pal was concerned about the post-pandemic market for sloppy?
Some sloppy toppy.
Everyone's wearing masks. You know, who knows after that? I think it's a fair
Oh
question.
my
I don't think we fully. I think we got monkeypox soon after, right? Or I
Should I
forget
send
which came
me?
first. That's a
Ah,
Phil
was
quote.
Phil.
That's a Phil.
I
Yeah.
knew it.
And
Shub said I'm gonna be
Kale,
last place.
first place now. Kale is now in first.
Whoa.
Kale, holy
Nice.
shit.
All right, that's from episode 245. Should the comic book industry move away from single issues? A topic we've discussed.
Absolutely.
Ad nauseum.
All right, true or false? Kale has Kale ever unironically said, "I love the MCU"? True or false?
Unironically.
Have you genuinely ever said that?
But that's a true.
I'm
Oh
gonna say
God, I
no.
hope not. Yeah, surely not. By this point, no way.
I actually said yes.
Fuck!
Answer is
Holy
true.
shit.
Yeah.
Wow, when was that?
I'm gonna need
Whoa.
that source.
Yeah, for real.
Let's see.
Because I bet.
Episode 31, talking
Okay,
about Zack
that
Snyder,
makes sense.
where we spelled Zack Snyder wrong on the thumbnail.
Not
I'd-
we.
All
I
right.
bet that was ironically. There's no way that was
That's a bit. It's a visual bit.
Age of Ultron had definitely come out.
What high-profile DC book made Sean say every page introduces some new concept or does something insane? Is it Infinite Crisis, Multiversity, Death Metal, or Final Crisis?
I think I know this.
Yeah.
That's like a pull quote. That can go on the back of the next release of this book?
They should ask me.
The
Okay,
answer
yeah,
is
yeah.
death metal.
Yeah.
Because it's the only one of those that we've reviewed.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah.
Mm,
Oh, I didn't even think of
true.
that. It
Yeah.
was just that's the only one that batshit things happen every page.
You guys didn't tackle
Also
multiversity
true.
at the time? I guess you weren't doing single issues at the time on the show.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Izzy says that MCU quote was genuine. I don't believe you.
That was also from the same episode where Marco was coming out of the egg. That last one.
Hell yeah.
Which pal had their social media hacked while the stream was live?
What?
Oh.
Marco, Sean, Cale, or me?
Ooh,
Hacked? I've never been hacked.
me.
Was it you? Are you that poor with your passwords, Cale?
Was
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. Do you know how old I am?
Yeah, you have a password book? That was
Oh,
me,
no.
actually. Strangely
was it?
enough, the answer was me.
Whoa.
I remember this. I remember getting like iCloud alerts like, oh, do you want to approve this iCloud login? When I was live. I think I said like, oh, I'm getting hacked. Yeah.
Live being the operative word.
I thought it was me when that random like Marco account was created. I still don't know who that is.
Oh yeah.
And that was from Pals Polls in 2022.
Wow.
I think we're coming up towards the end here. What is Sean's favorite dinosaur?
Oh.
This is a little unfair for somebody here. And I hope Sean gets it wrong.
Imagine I get it wrong. Like I'm pretty sure I know what my favorite dinosaur
Is it a T-Rex, a Triceratops, an Allosaurus? Good pull there if that's the right answer. Or a Stegosaurus?
No, it's
The
definitely.
answer is T-Rex. T-Rex is the answer.
It wasn't
I'm
the
a basic fucking
Stegosaurus.
bitch. No.
No, Sean,
it's
Sean,
fine.
Sean likes
Fine-
Leonardo.
fine to be
You
wrong.
know, the tracks that he likes T-Rexes too.
Yeah.
All right, that was from Pals Polls in 2022 as well. All right, and that's it. That's the show, guys. Let's see.
Damn.
Aw,
Let's see who won.
Wow.
that was fun as fuck. Izzy, tremendous job.
Third place, Last Young Renegade. Second place, C.W. Gordon. First place, it's Cale in first
Holy
place.
Oh,
Nice.
shit.
Wow.
Runners up, Sean
Good
in fourth.
shit.
Sean, you're in fourth. You almost made it.
You know, it's all right.
Genuinely, I couldn't have playing that if I tried.
That was fun. I like the format. I want to mess around with it a little more, but yeah, it's fun.
Wow.
Thank you, Izzy,
Izzy,
so much.
great work.
And is Izzy done? Is he caught up?
Yeah.
Must
I think
be.
all
so.
of it. Yeah. All of it. Yeah.
I was going to say, if he's not caught up, then we have another iteration of this to come up for 500.
I thought that's what he would do. I thought we would get little chunks and then go through, but
I'm sure there's more he can pull. Yeah,
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Great stuff.
Izzy, genuinely, this is the most fun I've had doing this show in a while. That was fun as fuck. As far as games go, that was incredibly well put together and well thought of and everything else. Tremendous job. I hope you do this again. Obviously, there's no obligation, but this was amazing. Thank you.
You know, I've got the edge to do that again.
Yeah. That was crazy, dude.
That was
Like
really
a game
good.
based on us. And we were, and I mean, outside of Cale, we all pretty much sucked.
Cool.
Very fun.
Cool.
Izzy says, I've watched everything but the video game pals and palling around.
guys, I have great news. I'm apparently not an ostrich anymore, too. So
It's good. You won.
Oh,
You won
wow.
your cred. And Izzy, if you want quotable stuff, it's palling around. I just don't know if that's fully accessible as a game for everyone. If it's not accessible by everyone.
Yeah.
But there is
Especially
stuff
if
said
you
on
can't,
there that maybe
yeah.
shouldn't be on the main feed.
Well, hey, no one but Izzy really has gone back and listened to our whole catalog. So, for the, like C.W. Gordon did tremendously well, and I don't know if he's heard everything. So, just based off our personalities, I feel like you can nail a few of these.
Yeah. It's even as somebody who's not on every episode, but I've listened to probably every episode. I've listened to or been on. That was still tricky for me.
It was tricky for us, and we said the shit.
Word.
I know all about saying stuff and forgetting you even said it. So
We were there.
Gavin said he got totally smoked, but you've been you've been listening for like what, a year
10 minutes.
change. CW Gordon goes in the trenches. Like
Yeah.
CW Gordon is like, that's like Twitch, pre-Twitch for
we
him.
did Twitch for a
So
bit, right? Remember when we were on Kick? No, we weren't.
What?
We weren't. I never put
We
us
were
on
on
Kick. Don't
Kick.
worry.
I was like, what? I was like, hold on a second. Don't recall that.
We had a Kick deal that I put in spam.
yeah, that was incredible, Izzy. Thanks again. Third Rail says, "Wow, never had so much fun on a podcast. Great job." Well, I'm glad we were able to entertain you. So Cale evolved beyond an ostrich. Now he's some other kind of Pokemon. Can I evolve beyond a rusty sheriff? Like
I think that sounds cool. It sounds like a sex move.
I think that means it doesn't sound cool.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Like a rusty trombone or a
Right.
what's the rusty?
Go ahead.
Oh, the rusty trombone is not good. Actually, I'm remembering what that was.
You got any more?
No, that's all. I thought it could sound cool.
Yeah. Well, can't all be winners. Gavin says, "I think I first caught y'all when Dawn of DC was starting." Oh shit! Wow. So that's
Probably. Yeah.
I mean,
DC
at
got
that
good.
point, you're going back like
A
3
year,
years?
2?
2 years, yeah.
2? What was Dawn of DC? We have the internet at our disposal.
Dawn of DC is Dark Crisis.
23. So yeah, like 2 years?
yeah.
Last Young Renegade says you already evolved into the Winter Soldier song.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right about that, and I love it. Yeah, thank you guys. That was incredibly fun, and I'm glad you all participated. I'm glad you guys took part. That was really cool. It's cool to see like who among the audience really knows us. I wish I had a top 20 list or something. Tyler, do you have like a list of the rankings?
You want to see who's in last place?
Sure.
Let's see. Do I? Difficult questions. There's one question nobody got right. And that's, it's not
Whoa.
character assassination. Guy Gardner is a dumb piece of shit. Nobody knew that was me.
Wow.
That's such a me thing to say, though.
Yeah,
Let's see.
definitely.
I'm trying to see if there's a full podium. Let's see. Final score. Yeah. Okay. Who was in last place? Okay. There's Marco apparently joined twice because there's a Mr. Marco too that you try from two
Yeah,
different
I
devices.
tried.
Trying
It
to
wasn't
cheat.
work.
Yeah.
It wasn't working.
No,
I
well,
couldn't change my name.
you
In the
were
name section, I
in-
put in the code.
You were in 6th and last place. So congrats.
Yeah,
Marco.
yeah. Thanks.
Sick. Oh my goodness! Don't image search Rusty Sheriff's badge.
I wouldn't do that. Yeah. I mean, I would.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm
You-
gonna take one for the team.
That just seems like
Oof.
a PNG. So even with Cale in the first place, your percentage of correct answers, Cale, is only 44%. So nobody was
I believe that.
positive on this. I like how you can bring it. You could see all the answers or see the percentages, the ranks here.
I don't see anything bad. I
Oh,
don't see
thank
anything
God.
bad.
I think
Yeah.
you're good. You're good, Sean. You're good. You're in the safe.
Oh,
La-
it's an asshole.
Oh, is it?
Apparently, it's a British slang that means asshole.
That
News to
sounds
me.
new to me.
I don't know. Have you ever heard of it before, Tyler?
I don't live in the
not
UK, Cale.
English.
Cale, have you heard that?
I've never heard it. No, that's.
He lives there.
I mean, I'm not exactly in circles that would say that, but
All right. Don't forget to cast your nomination in the multiple places that you can for June's Fantastic Four Focused Book Club. You can nominate your books on YouTube under the Post tab, on Patreon for absolutely free, and on Discord under the Book Clubs thread. So make sure you do that. Join the Discord if you haven't. It's always a lot of fun. It's a 24/7 thing. There are always people from different parts of the country, the world, talking. So come hang out with us over there. The next time that you will see us is on Monday for Pals Previews, where we're going to be talking to you about all the biggest books that are releasing the first week of June. So that's a pretty big deal. How is the comics industry kicking off June? We will let you know on Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So tune in for that. Then on Thursday, we will be live with you for Pals Pulls. And then before you know it, it's Saturday, and we are right back here again to do this,
Wow.
which we are always happy to do, which we've been doing for 450 episodes behind us and at least 450 ahead of us. So thank you guys for being a part of that, whether you were here for number one or you just started today. No matter where you kicked off your journey with us, we appreciate you being a part of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we hope you enjoy your weekend. You are the best audience in the world, and we love